deaths. Both nations are under pressure from international leaders to halt the violence.
Wildfires are raging along Turkey's Mediterranean coast, prompting disaster declarations in 2 western provinces. Joseph Eckerson with the latest.
Evacuations are underway as firefighters battle the blazes. The government has deployed additional resources to contain the fires.
Israel has implemented daily 10-hour pauses in fighting in Gaza's major population centers.
Airdrops of humanitarian aid began last night to address starvation reports. Over 120 deaths, mostly children, have been linked to hunger in the region.
A federal judge dismissed a lawsuit challenging sanctuary policies in Illinois and Chicago.
The Trump administration had contested the policies, which limit cooperation with immigration enforcement.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact.
Well, what if there is no guest?
Fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
That doesn't seem
Can I get a coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee. And hot.
Yeah, it is.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Look how fat I'm looking.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Can I get a boom?
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on over. Whoa. You got a flying screen? Oh, what the hell? Look at that. Wow, that's weird. I'm weeding myself out. Good question. Yeah. It's another day. I feel like I've said this before, but good morning, people. It is Tuesday, July 29th, 2025. I believe, and I have not been able to confirm this yet, but I believe we are on BitChute today. I'm not saying leave where you are and go check it out. Yeah, it does look like we're on BitChute today, but I'm still not 100% certain of that. Not the best day to be premiering on a new network because we have no guests today, and I don't even have a plan on what to talk about here. I mean, in the news, you heard like very old news there. You didn't hear about a shooting in New York City where a guy shot up 5 people. The initial reports were 4 people. He shot up 5 people, planning on dying himself. He had a suicide note that said something about blame the NFL because he's got CTE, concussions, multiple concussions. But apparently the guy never played in the NFL or even was drafted or any of that stuff. I'm not sure he even had a college football career. But he did go to the building where the NFL headquarters is to shoot it up. 5 people are dead. And it's troubling. But it's even more troubling about the suicide note. He wants his brain to be studied. Says he has CTE because of the NFL and never played in the NFL. All right. So, you know what? RFK Jr. was on Fox talking about this thing, and he said, "See, this is terrible. We can't allow this to happen. We can't allow this to happen but we don't need more gun control. We need idiot control. The thing is, you just put the two together. You need to stop the idiots from having guns. You could still have a Second Amendment and control the guns to stop. All right, I'll read that in a minute. But to stop idiots from getting the guns, stopping the idiots from getting guns is gun control, and I think that's what basically Mr. Brainworm is trying to say, but he's not very good at saying it. How hard he was hit by. Well, I got to read this now. I should just let him in the room and talk to him. I have. I can't even see. These eyes are so blurry. That's how hard he was hit. It erased his memories and his records. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, the Trump thing, the Epstein thing, is never going away. See, the problem is we assumed that pedophilia would be a line that MAGA would draw in the sand and say, no, this is... But no, they identify with Donald Trump. They identify. And so if he admits to a crime or is implicated in a crime, they feel like they are implicated in the crime. I saw this the other day where somebody on Twitter was saying that any insult to Trump is a personal insult to the 77 million people who voted for him. That's a problem. If you can't distinguish yourself from the guy you voted for, you have a problem. That's a serious mental condition. That's why we say you're in a cult. If anything that happens to him feels like it's happening to you, you've lost your own identity. And how many rapists actually stand up and plead guilty? Very few. So if you're expecting the MAGA people to just get on board and say, yeah, we know, yeah, obviously Trump abused young girls for decades. That's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. But the latest, not the latest, the conspiracy theory that just keeps getting unwound a little more and a little more. Trump, now, remember, there's no list. No list exists. This is what the official line of Trump and his administration and Pam Bondi are now. There never was a list. But somehow, the Democrats put his name in the list that doesn't exist. If you can, I feel like I got a concussion now. There is no list, but Democrats put his name in a list that doesn't exist, admitting that his name is going to show up if we ever see the list that doesn't exist. His name is going to show up in there. Why would he say that if he didn't know his name was in there? The Democrats put his name in this list. But here's the other part of it. They didn't bother releasing it. They counted on his good graces and his doing the right thing to release it. So they went and let's add Trump's name to the list, but not put it out there. We'll bury it and trust him to be the one to reveal that to his, and then they will be in denial because they'll feel like that's them admitting it. Again, they can't separate him from them. Him from them from me, you from our. Anyway, so I don't know what we're going to talk about today. I think we're going to probably talk about music, and it could be a little bit heated because the air conditioner is not working so well. But I don't know what else we're going to talk about here. We'll see. We'll struggle all the way through. Maybe GD will have something funny to say, but I think. Oh, by the way, Bet Anything has new coupons they want me to look at. You can bet on whether GD is going to say anything funny today at betanything.com. But in the meantime, try Dubby. You know what? Try Dubby. Dubby is an energy drink. I still have not got my compliment. See, they say complimentary tub of energy drinks here. That's what they want to send me. But I have to pay shipping and handling, which is about $50. Like, wait a minute, that's not complimentary. Now you're saying $50. If you're going to send it to me to be an affiliate or sponsor, whatever, Send it. Look, I could take the lid off. Just send it to me. Don't give me this $50. You're selling shit to me, using me as a. And here I am showing the world. Dubby. There's a link in the description. You can go get 10% off. I can't even get 10% off. You get like 10% off. Buy some Dubby, you cheap bastard. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, you nice people. Anyway, and in the meantime, let me just play something to wake. I have had no sleep. I'm on no sleep here. If you're wondering, gee, he seems even more stupid than usual. It's because he's on no sleep. No sleep. Get your no sleep at minddogtv.com/merch. But in the meantime, let's go to Tantaley and just watch Stephen be a Amish buzzkill. He's hiding the nipples. He's hiding the ass crack. He's hiding the vagina.
Stephen to sit down. Really wants to get down. Stevie likes to get it on with the girl that's made of silicone. He goes to Tantaley, click the link. He goes to Tantaley, soft and pink. She comes without a head, but at least she'll never shit the bed. You need a fake rubber squeeze, so soft. Get your 10% off. He goes to Tantaley. He goes to Tantaley. He goes to Tantaley. He goes to Tantaley.
Yeah, how about that? We're on. Look at that black screen, ladies and gentlemen. In the room,
calling me a black screen.
Look at that black screen. That son of a black screen. I said you're a block past it. D.D. Fenderson, the lovely and talented D.D. Fenderson.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com.
Yeah, nice
we are
job.
not in right now, but if you care to leave a message, we'll get back to you as soon as we return. MindDogTV.com/merch. Go there to find all kinds of shit. 25 pages worth.
Yeah.
Mind Dog, enjoy the suffering and support your local mercenaries.
We are on BitChute. It's a little difficult connecting over there, but we're there. I don't know if it's going to make any difference.
How easy is it to sign up? Because I haven't signed up yet because I'm lazy.
Yeah, me too. What about this guy getting the shoot up guy? He thinks he was in the NFL.
I think he was hit so hard. Maybe NFL doesn't stand for what we think it stands for to him.
I mean, I hate to make.
He could have played in the Negro Football League.
I don't think that was ever a thing. See, now this is what I don't know about this because I thought about this the other day with the Jackie Robinson stuff because I'm not sure the NFL was segregated like that. And who was the first black guy to play in the NFL? Do we?
Oh yeah, there is. Damn it!
He doesn't get any. It's like the second guy on the fucking moon.
They're gonna take my black card for this. Okay, in an unrelated story, and this is what when I was raising my stepdaughter, we used to play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on computer, and she'd go, "Dad, you really should be on that show. You'd be a millionaire." And I said, "No, I wouldn't." And she goes, "What do you mean? You know all the answers." I said, "No, I don't." I said, "You know what they would do to me?" She said, "What?" I said, "I would get to the $1 million question, and they would ask me something about Black history that I, as a Black man, should know, and I would not know it. And I would disgrace my race, my family, my heritage."
Yeah. Here's why I thought, because Fritz Pollard, that doesn't sound like a black guy. Fritz sounds like a German name. I'm sorry. Fritz Pollard is recognized as the first black player in the NFL, playing in 1920, 26 years before Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball. So that's why you never hear about them.
But also, you think there's a difference. In baseball, you see the face. You know that's a black man coming up to bat. In football, they're wearing helmets and pads, and even in 1920, it may have been a leather helmet. I don't know, but they were. You don't. It's not. Between the tar under the eyes, and it's not full blackness. You're not seeing the full blackness.
That's a fair point, especially if he was a light-skinned black.
Right. With a name like Fritz, who's to say that his father wasn't German?
Yeah, it's true. There's a picture of him here. He doesn't look like light-skinned at all. Yeah.
Well, that's after the game. That's after they beat him black and blue.
Yeah. How about,
but you can't see because the picture's in black and white.
All right. Well, this is a test to make sure to see if you can keep your black card. How about the NBA? You know, the first black player in the NBA.
That's a trick question. They were all black. No, stop.
Well,
no, I don't. I don't.
Well, Earl Lloyd is the guy's name. 1950, he played for the Washington Capitals.
And now that you say that name, I'm like, the name sounds familiar, but I don't have a face with it.
Yeah, Washington Capitals. Weren't they called the Washington Bullets at the time? I don't know. Until that shooting that was happening in their locker room. And then they changed the name to the Capitals, right?
Right.
So
I guess they're saying Capitals because that's the name they have now.
Right. Here's now.
But that would have, because back then that would have been the Baltimore Bullets, right? Because I don't think Washington had a basketball team.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even then, so now I'm not sure we can trust that source.
All right. Now it's really gonna the first black player in the NHL.
Whoever's in the league right now.
Willie O'Ree, who debuted with the Boston Bruins in January 18th, 1998.
Boston. Now, that surprises me more than anything else that the first black of anything occurred in Boston.
Especially NHL, because, I mean, that's like the whitest white part and bigoted part of Boston. You can get Boston Bruins.
Addicts was shot, but I would believe that was in Boston, and I would even believe that it wasn't even by the British. There was actually somebody in Boston who shot Crispus Attucks.
Yeah. I didn't know he was shot there. I thought he was shot in Philly.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying if Boston, if anything happened in Boston historically with the first black person, that's what I would have put my money on.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'll look that up later if I remember. But did you hear Morgan Freeman for some reason felt like he had to come out and say that Barack Obama was not the first black president. His mother was a white lady from Kansas, and that's important now in 2025. Now, I love Morgan Freeman, but why is that? Why do you feel the need to bring that up?
Now, was this an AI thing, or was it?
No, it was a real thing. He was interviewed by somebody, and he's coming out, and he was just, I don't know, indignant about making that point that Barack Obama.
Here's where I'm going to differ. If Morgan Freeman wants to play that game, Barack Obama's father was Kenyan. That's twice as black as any black man you're going to find in the United States because we're all hybrids here. Okay, at best I'm only 54% black. So yeah, we're all hybrids here anyway. So that means if I were elected president, I wouldn't be a black president because I'm only 54% black.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm Freeman. Your age is starting to show.
Whatever Barack Obama wants to identify, if he wants to identify more with his black father than his white mother, I'm fine with you. But
whatever his birth certificate says, he is. And even then, today, who knows? But yeah, if he's identified as a black child or a Negro or African American on birth certificates. I'm willing to bet that if he got pulled over by the cops and they didn't know that he was Barack Obama, before the fifth cop started beating him, they would go, "Oh shit,
yeah,
he looks familiar." Put your hands over his eyes, cover up that swelling. Oh shit, I think we just beat up the next president. Then they start going,
"Yeah,
look what we found. We found him like that."
Yeah. Ryan Sam. No, but just the last thing on, I just don't understand. Morgan Freeman. Somebody asked him about this, the Epstein thing, and using the distraction for the Obama thing, and his first comment was, Obama was not the first black president. Like
now, if he were going and now if he were being, I think, going through history, and he'd have gone back to I can't remember the guy's name, because back before George Washington, there was a Congress, and he had a seat called the president of the Congress.
Right.
There, according to research, apparently one of the presidents of the Congress was black, which would have made him the first black president of the United States, if that's what they called him.
Right.
I think they just called him the president of the Congress, just like they call the vice president the president of the Senate.
Yeah. I read something about that. Washington wasn't the first president. It was the president of the Congress for like 8 months or something before Washington actually took the office. And who knows who that was? I don't remember who that was.
Like I said, so apparently there was a black man who held that office, according to, let me see if I can find that. Black president of the Congress, right? Or maybe I could be very specific. First nigger, because back then he wouldn't have been black, right? I mean, we're talking 1700s. So first nigger president of
now you
Congress.
spell that correctly? It's Nigra?
I was going to abbreviate it because I'm lazy. But yeah, I should type it out. Of the Congress. All right. You know, this is funny that of the Continental Congress. It already corrected me. Continental Congress. And John Hanson. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me finish reading it. He goes, false information about Hanson as the first black president of the United States had already been circulating long before the internet. Wow. The new media, however, spread that information. Where's the rest of it?
Yeah. So,
now that's weird. They showed a picture of a white guy, and now they show me a picture of a black guy. That's bait and switch already. John Hanson was a Liberian senator during the mid-19th century who has been erroneously claimed as the first black president of the United States. Not much is known about Hanson's early life. He was born into slavery in Baltimore, Maryland, around 1791.
1790. That would be way past 1779, right? 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe you know what? Maybe if I don't know if Big Beautiful Bill is angry with me for a comment I made on his comment the other day or something. But he's a historian. He might know more about that if we ever see him again. I don't know. I don't think I was being disrespectful to him. He was just saying that the overconfident people on both sides would be humbled when the list came out. I was like, humbled, you're dreaming. They in order to be humbled, you have to have some self-awareness, and I don't think anybody, these rah-rahs. Lee Zeldin,
right,
who used to be my congressman here, who's now, I forget what the EPA or whatever the fuck he's in charge of now. He starts every sentence with, thanks to the strong leadership of our great President Trump. And I just got sick of it this morning. I said, can any of you fucking guys start a sentence without subservience and submission to the leader? You want to know why we call you a cult? If you have to start it's like Kim Jong-un would be like drooling at, like, look at how Trump has got these people sticking their tongue up his ass before they can say a word. I mean, it's just pathetic. So, this is where so to think they're going to be humbled by finding out Trump's in the Epstein files. No, they're going to deny it. They're going to deny it forever and ever. They have no self-awareness. They have no self-identity. They gave up their identity. They are now Donald Trump, an extension of Donald Trump. That's how they see themselves. So no, they're not going to be humbled. And so I think he might be mad at me. I don't know. Sometimes I think people just, get butthurt by the shit I say. It's not like I called his mother a skank whore. I did not.
No, and he may not be hurt. He may just be busy. Okay, I've seen two different pictures of this John Hanson guy. This picture here is of a guy who
John,
Yeah.
I'm thinking John. There was Jim Henson. Oh, Jim Henson. John Hanson was the talk soup guy, the last talk soup guy, right? Remember?
Okay. According to Snopes, it's false.
Oh, we're going round and round and round and round on this. We don't know
Yeah.
enough.
So I've seen 2 falses and 1 true.
Uh, Now, because I said when we were talking about the NFL and all that stuff, first black guy in the NFL, I was like, and who was the last? I said who the second man on the moon. We know who the second man on the moon. That was Buzz Aldrin. Who was the last man on the moon? At least last American, because I think there have been other people after we left there, right? Other countries.
Well, I don't know if there's been other manned missions to the moon since we've been there.
Last Apollo astronaut was Gene Cernan, December of 1972. So that's the last American on there. I wonder if he's the actual last man on the moon now. What difference does it make? Because nobody remembers the last guy. They remember the first guy.
As we're proving, but we're also proving that quite often we don't remember the first guy either. Well, look, I can see somebody right now who if they actually gave a shit, going through and saying, G.D. Finison doesn't know shit about black people, and pointing out all the black people I did not know.
Yeah. You didn't know the first black, do you know the name of the first black person to beat me up?
It was a woman.
Yes,
It was
she's a woman now. She wasn't a woman then. She was 5 years old then.
Oh, okay. She was a young girl.
I was 45, by the way. It was really weird to get my ass kicked by a 5-year-old.
I know that she did. There was a second baseman for the Mets. I do know that.
Rosemary Paschal. We were both 5. I'm just kidding about that. I would not. When I was 45-year-old, I was beating the shit out of young black girls. Believe me. Not anymore though. That reminds me of a thing that Rogan on Twitter was saying. He was talking about how the left they really want trans people in sport. They want men to compete in women's sports. It's like that is such a fucking stretch of the position. The position is it's not my fucking business.
Right.
And second of all, I don't know if he can take this into his little brain because he's a midget and he has a very small brain by the fact that he's a midget. But he can't. If he went one-on-one with Caitlin Clark, she would fucking light him up. She would fucking humiliate him. If you could even take the sports that he fights in, like that he competes in, like jiu-jitsu or taekwondo, and you could find a natural woman that would just fucking beat the piss out of him.
I'm willing to bet that Cynthia Rothrock in her prime would have beat his ass.
Yeah. I mean, so this idea that you can't compete across genders is just ridiculous. I mean, yes, the equal amount of training in a physical sport that requires lots of body upper strength, men are going to have an advantage. But especially once a man starts taking estrogen and whatever female hormones and is trying to work his way towards being a woman, it doesn't have that same advantage anymore, and that doesn't seem to make a difference. Again, Caitlin Clark would beat the fuck out of any of us in one-on-one, and I'm not transit in the least. Maybe
back when I was a youth and I was competitive boxing. There was a young lady. We were all teenagers. We were all now teens, 15, 16 years old, something like that. There was a woman I was boxing, a young lady, and she for the first 2 rounds she was cleaning my clock. But part of it is because I had it in my head I could not hit a woman. And I'm like I won't. My father raised me like that. Now here's the irony. My father used to beat my mother like she was like she stole something. But my father raised me not to lay a hand on a woman. I guess until you're married. Yeah, yes. I guess unless you're married.
But here's the thing. Now, if you didn't know she was a trans person, would you still have felt the same way? Like had that in the back of your mind?
She had breasts, so I didn't hit her in the dick. So I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
I would not have known if she was trans. Now she had breasts. You know, I knew her as, well, I'm not going to say her. Well, I knew her as Martina. And
Well, you
she,
remember that Russian woman in the slap contest, the one with the big head and the big neck, and she kind of like somebody slapped her and she just like spit out a tooth and smiled.
yeah, that's one of the videos that Ron had graced us with.
Yeah, I mean, let's put Rogan up against her in a slap fight and see if he doesn't chicken. I would chicken out. I honestly, I would. No, I'm not fucking getting in a slap fight with that.
Well, I would too, but mainly because I don't want to risk damaging my teeth.
I'm already missing a tooth. Exactly.
Yeah, I no. So like, but I would not hit her. I would not hit her back.
I
And
would
she,
never get involved in one of those fucking slap fights in the first place. It's the stupidest fucking sport. I mean, unless you're winning $1 billion, I don't know what could make the prize worth just standing there and letting some gigantic person just wind up and fucking slap you in the face. It doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Who invented that sport? I got an idea. Let's just fucking no defense at all. You just sit there and take it, and then
well,
that's it.
I mean, back in the old days of boxing, when boxing was a gentleman's sport, you took turns hitting each other, I think. Which I don't understand. What's the point of having your guard up if you're going to take turns hitting each other? I don't know. But it doesn't.
That's not the. Yeah, there's no. What do they call it? The sweet science. There's nothing
Right.
sweet about that science. That's just.
Well, I think the sweetness comes when you taste your own blood. But I was talking about the young lady I was boxing, and so for the first 2 rounds, I would not hit her back. Now, she had a longer reach. She was about 5 inches taller than me, so she had a longer reach. And after 2 rounds, my coach comes to me and he goes, you have to knock her out. And I said, I can't hit a girl. And he says, when you go back to school on Monday, you can be the guy who won his fight, against a girl, or you can be the guy who got beat up by a girl. Which man are you going to be? You're going to be one of the two when you go to school on Monday.
See, I didn't have that choice. I was the guy who got beat up by the girl because she beat me up because she was. I didn't have the choice of not getting beat up.
Well, I decided that I was going to keep my undefeated record. And that was the important thing to me. That I was still I would no longer be undefeated, and that's why when I went in the 3rd round, I went in as a southpaw. I started off as a southpaw because most amateur boxers don't know how to deal with southpaws.
So I'm just confused. Why you even accepted this fight? First of all, in the back of your mind, you can't hit a girl. Now they're hooking you up. Your next fight is going to be against a girl.
Well, I didn't know that until it was there.
Wow.
I never knew who I was fighting until.
What kind of rigged up boxing association is this? They don't even tell you who you're fighting next.
Or let's put it this way: if I don't remember knowing in advance. I don't remember knowing anybody in advance. I only remember like when I saw them across the ring, who I was fighting. And sometimes I was fighting people way above my weight class, but I didn't turn any fight down. And the 3 fights that I lost were against people that were not in my weight class, but in my own weight class, I was undefeated.
Wow. There's a chat room on BitChute, but I don't know how we don't see it here. There's also something called a rave. There's rant and rave. So far, we have no raves. We have some people ranting.
Okay. Well, rant is as good as a rave as far as ratings go.
I don't know how we can incorporate it here. I still don't think we get the Rumble feeds here, but we get kicks here somehow.
Yeah, I don't know how that's happening.
And Kick seems to be 100%
mostly bots.
Yeah, 100% either bots or podcast promoters or stream promoters or whatever. Everybody who goes there is in that business. It's just a very strange. How do they fucking survive? How do they make money if they're only people on the site are bots? Or they're not people. The only clicks on the site.
Well, I've never been on Kick, so I don't know what their business model is. And even if I did know it, I probably wouldn't understand it.
Well, Rumble contacted me this morning and saying, you could be making money off your streams. Anybody who streams more than 30 hours a month, which you do, is entitled to some monetization there. And here's where you apply. And to apply, you have to join for free premium and pay. It's another one. It's like Dubby. Come on, you want me to pay? And Twitter has the same model. You have to join their premium stuff, pay them $29 a month, and then you have a chance to make money. But you're not going to make that $29. We're going to pay you.
No, you're not going to make that back until you can make like $100,000 a year doing it in the real world.
Yeah.
So
it sounds like it's just a scam to get some real people on the site.
Yeah.
Chris Cuomo. Remember Chris Cuomo?
I know one of the Cuomos.
Well, Andrew Cuomo's brother. Andrew Cuomo was the governor of New York. Chris Cuomo worked for CNN and was carrying water for his brother.
Right.
And that's why he got fired from CNN. Now, I guess is he on some kind of network or something?
Yeah. I don't think it's Newsmax. It may be.
But he has gone completely far right. And that doesn't make any sense to me. His father was one of the really honorable Democrats of his era, Mario Cuomo. He was the governor of New York. I think he was the best governor of New York of my lifetime, if I'm fair about that. But he was hardcore Democrat. Doesn't mean he was all that far left. I think he was a moderate Democrat. But to see this guy who was on CNN and portrayed himself as kind of mid-left to far left, now be far right, the only reason I can think he's doing it is for the grift, for the money, because he knows these people will buy anything.
It could be the grift. It could be a combination of the grift, and he may not be happy with the way his brother is being treated.
All right. But he's saying the left needs to shut up about Epstein. The left needs to shut up about Epstein. Don't you fucking care? Let's just say Trump's not in it. Let's just say that. Don't you fucking care about all the other pedophiles who are getting skating on this?
Would he have us shut the fuck up about Harvey Weinstein? Would he have us shut the fuck up about Bill Cosby? Right. Would he have us shut the fuck up about Matt Gaetz? Or is it, or is it just this one particular sex offender?
Yeah. Yeah,
right. Should we shut the fuck up about Diddy? Should we shut the fuck up about the other thousands of sex offenders out there, or millions? I know that technically there's probably millions of sex offenders. I don't like the idea that there's millions of sex offenders out there.
Yeah, well, they're twisted.
Even if I was related to two of them,
that's probably you know what? You don't even have to go to 23andMe anymore or any of these DNA things. Just announce that you won the lottery, and all your relatives will come to you, and everybody who claim heritage or lineage to you will come out of the woodwork and say, "Oh, I hear you won the lottery, brother, cousin, uncle." So there you go. I don't know. They're just bending themselves into the worst pretzels over trying to get out of this. Like the idea that. Somebody said that fucking 14-year-olds wasn't even taboo until the late 1990s. I was like, I don't know. I don't remember people saying it was open season on fucking 14-year-olds in the 70s. I came of age in the 70s, the period where I could start fucking, and nobody said, yeah, it's all right for adults to fuck kids. I don't remember that.
When I was in high school, I was at one point I was 15 years old in high school, and there was a girl who was in the 9th grade, because I was been in the 11th grade, maybe 10th. I could have been in 10th grade. So there was a 9th grader who was 13, and everybody was saying, she's 13. You can't be her boyfriend. She's 13, and I was 15, and she was only 1 grade behind me.
Right.
And we were in the same school.
Yeah.
So there was a taboo even then.
Yeah. So this idea that, but they're trying to twist everything into like, oh, it's not really that. If it's not that bad, release the fucking file. What is the problem with letting America see the evidence against this guy? It's unless I could see that this being a legitimate concern if it compromises national security in any way. That stuff might be a little tricky, but we're talking about individuals here, whether it's Donald Trump or Bill Gates or Bill Clinton or Stephen King or any of these people.
The only way it could compromise national security is if they keep it a secret and then they use it for blackmail. Well, other than that, it has no impact on national security.
Yeah, unless, well, it could if it, like, there is, again, but you don't have to release this part of the information. If it has methods or, and maybe it doesn't even, but if it has methods that the intelligence community uses to gain compromise over somebody, maybe that's something you want to keep hidden. I don't know that you do, but that's one. But you don't have to reveal those methods. We're just asking for the evidence against individuals and who those individuals are. Like, I think we have a right to know. Like, that's why we have a sex offender registry, because we have a right to know if you got creeps living next door, or creeps living down the road, or creeps living in your country,
or creeps running your country.
Right. Or even running Hollywood or whatever they're doing. We have a right to know that these fucking people are doing bad things. They're fighting tooth and nail. And again, this comes back to, this is a textbook on how to appear guilty. Even especially if you're not guilty, you don't want to run this, well, let's hide the evidence shit. If you're not guilty, you want it all out there. I would say, I'm not in there, fucking show them. The idea that the Democrats put me in there, but it doesn't.
Hello, Becky.
Hey, good morning, Becky. Well, you caught us on a day when we have no guests and really nothing to talk about, so we're just shooting the breeze here about, and the breeze moves, so it's really a moving.
Yeah, you missed my my great knowledge, me displaying my knowledge of Black history.
Black history,
yeah.
Sounds like like the dark web. That's what the dark web. It's all black people.
Now, I mean, I did study Black history in high school, and as a matter of fact, it was even in elementary school. So in elementary school, we had Black history. It was called African American Studies, and our teacher was this elderly Jewish woman. And so, like 2 days in, this one kid, I think his name was Randolph, he says, I'm not learning. He says, why am I sitting in this class? I am not taking Black history lessons from some old Jewish lady. I think he said some old white Jewish lady. And she says something like, I have been teaching Black history before there were blacks. That's what she said.
So she's Methuselah's wife, is what basically.
No, but I think, see, now I knew what she was saying, but the kid, Randolph got pissed off. He's like, we're blacks. But she says, no, you've only been calling yourself black for such and such. Before you called yourself black, what were you? She says, 3 months ago, you were calling yourself African American. And she just lays it down. And eventually she had the whole class laughing. And he just shut the fuck up for the rest of the year.
Yeah. There were some of those labels didn't last very long. They were transient labels, like I forget what they were.
Tar baby.
Yeah. Those labels, I think, stuck. Becky says that she needs a breeze down there because it's hot as balls down here. It's hot as balls, isn't that James Carville line? Mr. President, it's hot as balls down here. No, he said we're dying down here, is what he said. Yesterday was supposed to be, what did they say? Like a heat advisory where it was dangerous heat conditions. It was like 87 and like 89 degrees, 80%, 89% humidity.
How hot is it in the car, especially if you leave a kid in it?
Oh yeah, no, that's dangerous. But I mean, they're talking about don't do any physical activities outdoors and all this stuff. And we've had much hotter days in my lifetime than 80, a high 80s and high 80s of humidity. It's I think they're just over sensitive to heat.
I
It's
think
hot.
I think that because of budget cuts, there aren't as many hospital rooms available, so they're just trying to keep us from not having to go. Because if we go to the hospital, we're definitely going to die because there's not going to be anybody. You're not going to get a room.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I did yard work for 2 hours yesterday. Well, actually, 1 hour and 45 minutes because I took a 15-minute break in the middle.
Damn. See, no, I'm the first one to use that as an excuse that it's too hot for me to go out and mow the lawn or whatever.
I wish it was morning because then I would have just been riding my tractor mower. No, this is real yard work. I was clearing. I had a pine tree that got blown over a few months ago, and now I'm getting the last of it into the woods, cutting up the last of it yesterday. I
Yeah,
think today I'm going out to rake the brush, to rake the pine needles and whatever small sticks that are there.
Yeah, I did not mean to diminish what goes on in Florida as far as heat conditions, because it's not just. I understand it's very hot in Florida, and 87 is like wintertime.
It also depends on where you are in Florida, because what we used to live in Venice. We used to live in Venice, and we were like a stone's throw from the Gulf of Tampa, I think it was called. And so we used to get a breeze. It was, even if it was like 90 degrees, there would still be like a Gulf breeze, coming in for us.
So, yeah, because when you mentioned the Gulf, I'm thinking about the story I read yesterday about a Colombian farmer who found $60 million buried in his farm. It's coke dealer's money. Found the money and turned it over.
Turned it in.
What the fuck?
Well,
Seriously, I mean, would you do that? Well, I mean, and why would you do that if you?
Well, now the answer is, would I turn in all 60 million? I think the answer is I found 58 million. I think that's the answer. Right. I think because I don't think anybody would have buried that kind of money and not known about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, some drug deal would have buried the money. It's like, okay, we'll go back now that the heat is off or something. Because let's say somebody ripped off a drug dealer and they said, okay, it's too hot. We got to hide the money. They're never going to stop looking for us until they're dead. Now the drug dealer's dead. And so I can go back and get my 60 million. You don't want to be the one that they say, I found $60 million in y'all, because that motherfucker. Oh no, you got to go.
See, so I'm similar to you in the fact that it would be 58 million. But I wouldn't.
Right.
I would.
But I would still but this way, whoever's looking for the money would know to go look for it at the police station, not me. I don't have it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I would just pretend I never found it. I don't know what you're talking. I'd bury it back up again a little bit short. Like, they're not counting it. Maybe they are counting it, but I think if you're burying your money, you're not counting every penny before you do that. I don't know, but I don't know. I would play stupid. I go, yeah, well, how come there's a new Ferrari in your driveway? Oh, that.
Well, that's not new. That was 3 weeks old when I got it.
Yeah. I don't think I would get a Ferrari. I don't know what I would do if I could. If I.
Well, I don't. My outward appearance probably wouldn't change so much. I mean, literally, if I got $2 million tomorrow, I would. Yeah, my driveway would be paved, because it's all stone. There's 200 feet of stone, well, 300 something feet of stone, but it's a bitch in the winter, and it's a bitch when it rains, because I have these divots that they're like mini sinkholes. I don't understand how I'm convinced that I have like mini sinkholes in our driveway and in my yard even, and I'm afraid that one day that sinkhole is going to open up and take.
Yeah, I get lakes. I get actual lakes in my yard when it pours here. But
I don't get that.
Falls. That would be interesting to have one of those, like, oh, the earth just caves in and keeps going. Hopefully that never happens here, because I'm on the top of a hill. The people below me would really fucking not be happy if that happens. It's but I don't think home improvements are the thing that would give you away as somebody who found the money. So I think you'd be okay with it. Like a new driveway, they're not going to say, "Oh, you must have found my $60 million."
Right. Yes, I wouldn't do, and I already have like a nice car, but even if I didn't have like a nice car, I would probably just buy a car similar to what I have, because I'm not a flashy, you know what? I do know what the tell would be. All of a sudden, that would be really funny because I hired some writers. Hold on, no. GD was never that funny. That motherfucker hired some writers. Where he get the money for that? Wait a minute, he can play guitar now? That bastard's been taking lessons. Where do you get the money for lessons?
I keep getting approached by people who want to provide production services here, and it's just like, you know what, but this is not a legitimate business. I'm not like trying to. Maybe I should be serious about it, but if I was serious, I would probably invest, and I'd probably take a business loan and hire production people. I think that would be worthwhile. Some lady was pitching at me like she could get me any guest. I could just give her the name and she would get me that guest, and which would be like, wow. I don't think anybody could do that. Like if, let's say, I don't know, Bruce Springsteen. If I put that out there, get me Bruce Springsteen. If she could deliver on that, like that would be remarkable. I don't think anybody could deliver on that. Bruce Springsteen would say, "What do you want me to go on? Why should I? What am I going to get at? What's in it for me?"
Wait a minute. I have a question here. No, that's not it. I lost it. Where is it? This thing is moving as I speak. So I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Here it is. Becky has said, our porch ain't doing too hot when it rains. There's a tree that rubs against it. Now, is this like a sexual thing?
Well,
like
I think that is, she's just trying to tease us here.
Yeah, that sounds very sexual. Like a tree is rubbing up against your porch. Like a dog grabs your leg.
Yeah.
And then she says that would be fun. But see, the next, I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness we have Becky in the chat room, because other than that, we got nothing but people trying to sell us cheap viewers.
Yeah. Well, yesterday we didn't have Bill yesterday. We didn't have.
That's why I thought Bill must be angry at me, because he wasn't in the. Usually he'll pop in howdy.
Right, and we didn't get John until the very end. The beef man until the very end.
I can't remember why I was calling Ian the Antichrist. I can't remember. There was something about Ian's name. I know it says evil Ian, but there was I can't remember the connection I made between him and Antichrist. But he hasn't been there. They've abandoned us. We need Stephen back to get it. Oh, no, we don't. I'm sorry. We'll just call each other pedophiles. How about that?
We could talk about the stabbing in Walmart.
Stabbing in Walmart.
Now, because my wife would not let go of that one. My wife is like falling asleep, and she says she was falling asleep last night, and I couldn't fall asleep yet. I was working on some comedy stuff in the basement, so I couldn't sleep still. And I'm watching the news, and my wife goes, somebody was shot in New York? And I said, well, 5 people were killed. And I said, and the shooter killed himself. And she goes, when did that happen? I said, well, earlier today, but it supplanted the stabbing in the Walmart in Michigan. She says, stabbing? I said, yeah, somebody stabbed 11 people. She goes, how dumb do you have to be the 11th person to be stabbed in a Walmart? She says, didn't you learn anything? And she's falling off to sleep, but now she wants to argue. And I said, no. I said, it's easy to get stabbed and then move. When you stab somebody, you run on to the next person. It's not like you hear a gunshot.
No, I'm agreeing with your wife, Bo. I mean, the 11th, even if you say 3rd or 4th, but the 11th, by the time, because you see people reacting, he got.
But not if they're in the same. If he's in Walmart and he stabs one person in aisle 1 and just immediately just walks away and stabs somebody in aisle 2, they'll run into aisle 1, for that one, and then you go into aisle 3, aisle 4. It does not, and there's no gun sound. You're just stabbing someone. You just walking through the store and stabbing someone. Some people depending on how sharp the blade is, they don't even know they've been stabbed. It's like, what was that poke? And then all of a sudden they feel it. So there's like could be like a 10-second delay, and you've already stabbed another person by then.
You got one of them slick knives. Because
I have a very good knife. Yeah.
The only time I ever stabbed somebody, and it was by accident, I stabbed him in the knee. I couldn't get the knife out. I actually kind of. It didn't.
Oh, did it have ridges or something, or one of those little hooks?
It was just one of the little pocket knives. But full disclosure here, we were both on LSD pretty heavily, but yeah, it just didn't come out. It was just like stuck in there. Like, I might have hit bone or something.
or they were holding your hand. It's like, what the fuck? And then or you were on acid.
No, he was laughing. He was laughing as I stabbed him in the knee. He thought, I don't know if he thought he imagined it or what. Like we were tripping, but he was laughing at the thing, and I was
why the knee? Of all the places you could have stabbed him, why'd you stab him in the knee?
It wasn't on purpose. Again, it was an accident. We were walking down the street again, tripping. In tripping, we're gonna do stupid things. He found a bag of leaves, and he was like hitting me with this bag of leaves. And I thought, well, I was just gonna stab the bag of leaves. He held the bag of leaves in front of his leg and pulled it away as I went to stab it, and it just went whoa and got in his knee, and he went. Like, wait a minute. I was expecting you to want to kill me, not laugh at. I mean, all right. You want another one? Would you like a fresh one?
That's why I never did acid, with or without friends.
That's why.
That's why. Yes.
All right. Questionable things.
She's asking about the stabbing. It happened in Michigan. I did know what town. It started with a T. But not Terre Haute. Travis. I think it's Travis something. Now I got to look it up. But my memory says Travis.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And Walmart seems to be the place to go if you're going to. I'm not wishing any bad things on Walmart, but I'm not saying. But it just seems like that's the place to go to do a mass stabbing. And you better be really. I don't know. What was the motive behind that? Do you know what the motive was?
Now, if I remember correctly, they were saying that the guy was blurting out, "I'm a Marine." So.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Now it says a mass stabbing incident occurred at a Walmart in Traverse City, Michigan, resulting in multiple injuries and a suspect in custody.
Oh. I can't take the propaganda, man. The 24/7 propaganda stuff. It's just it's driving me fucking nuts. It's like they feel like let's just keep the statements going out there. Like everything they do. Oh, I just took a shit like 20 feet long. It's like a shit like nobody's ever seen. Thanks to the great leadership of President Trump, I'm able to take the greatest shit that ever happened. And like everything is a major announcement of thanking Trump for whatever I just did. But it feels like Hitler and Goebbels would be like, wow, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know we could take it to that extreme. Holy shit. Holy shit. I mean the shit part. But I mean, like, I could see even if you are like a Trump supporter, doesn't that shit get tiresome where people are just constantly praising the leader? It feels so goddamn cult-like.
But even under Biden, it was not like this. Yeah, Biden. I mean, whenever there's a president, okay, people kind of like are going to like tote their victories and stuff like that. But I'm not certain that even when Biden failed, that people were like making shit up, I don't know.
Or even just constantly needing to have not just like
Caroline. Yeah, it wasn't constant. Yeah, Biden, man, because Biden was so bad that he was doing good things and not even talking about it because he didn't think it was good enough.
Right. Well, and like you take Jen Psaki, she was never on Twitter. I mean, if she posted once a week, that would be a lot. Caroline Leavitt is on Twitter at least 200 times a day. That's not an exaggeration. 200 times a day claiming the greatest victory of all time in any, whatever it was. Now she's talking about trade wins with the UK. Now, the trade win she's talking about is a 15% tariff that we're going to pay.
Yeah, that's a win.
Right. So basically, she's saying that's going to be a major rocket boost to the U.S. economy. But this is the thing. They spend all day and all night on Twitter with the full-on propaganda. We've never seen it. Democrat, Republican, we've never seen this level of insanity.
No, it's not. Yeah. So this is one of those things where, I mean, yeah, you can say both sidism, but it's, even if both sides did it, they didn't do it the same way.
And they never did it to this degree where everybody spent. Somebody said they were talking about Pam Bondi being on Fox News too much. It was Trump supporter, by the way, the Laura Loomer, or whatever her name is. She was on Patrick McDavid, and she said people are saying she spent. She said. Pam Bondi spends every waking moment on Fox News, and she's not doing her job. And Patrick McDavid pushed back. He said, I've never seen her on Fox News. Hello.
No, she's on Fox News more than she's looking at briefs and
all of them. Christy Noem, this is definitely.
And they're dressing up in costume. It's like they don't do the job. We want to dress like we do the job.
Yeah, all of them. They're just spending all the time either on Fox News, Newsmax, Twitter. It's constant messaging about. And I think it is, again, I think we're sleepwalking through the propaganda that people in the 1930s and 40s were at least able to spot. This is propaganda. We know it's propaganda, but they absorbed it anyway. Now it's just like it's like a tidal wave of self-congratulatory tweets and messaging and all of 24/7. It's just beats the hell out of you all day. Like, get off my. This is why people don't want to be exposed to this stuff. Why people are turning off the news. People are turning off social media. It's because it just doesn't stop. I miss the days. What I had for breakfast. Oh, isn't my cat so fucking cute? Give me more cat and fucking egg pictures and stuff. That's what I want. Cat and egg pictures, or a little bit of bacon.
I had one of my baby, not mine, but one of the baby raccoons used to come on my deck is missing. I think a fox got it.
Ooh.
Because there were 3 very small raccoons. I mean, like fit in the palm of your hand, and they were with a medium-sized raccoon. And I say medium-sized because there's probably like an older sibling, and teaching him where to go for food or something. And say, here, you can go to the Fendersons. They have food out for the cats. And he doesn't bring it in until 9. He doesn't bring it in until 10. So if we get there by 9, we can eat the rest of the cat food, And so it was so cute, little critters.
Yeah.
And then I saw them again walking across my yard, and there was only 2 babies. And there was a fox like 30, 40 feet behind it. Like almost like I can grab another one.
Huh. Foxes aren't that big, right?
This fox wasn't very big, but it was bigger than the raccoons.
Yeah, I don't know, a lot bigger. Oh, because if they're baby raccoons, small raccoons, sure.
Right. They were small, like I kid you not. Well, this is not for scale. I need something.
You kid me not, or you shit me not? Because I would prefer you shit me not.
Okay, I shit you not. But
remember the thing, she loves me not, that whole thing. I shit you not, I shit you not, that whole. I'm just sorry.
I see. Yeah, they're about. Okay, this is bigger than my head. I'm thinking it's about the size of my head.
Wow.
But that's all fluff. That's all fur. If you wet them, they're probably like this. But yeah.
But here, the red foxes are about the size of a raccoon. I definitely think a raccoon, a full-size adult raccoon, would fuck up a red fox.
Oh yeah. That's why I think it was going after the babies, because they don't, like I said, a regular raccoon, a full-size raccoon. I've watched I watched a full-size mother raccoon take on a Doberman Pinscher, and that Doberman Pinscher lost.
But they have
Okay.
hands. Right?
Yeah, and not only that, but they're quick and they're smart.
Right.
And this is back when I used to work on a farm, and they had a mother raccoon with her babies in the barn, and they wanted the raccoon out of there. So somebody got this smart idea of sicking a dog on the raccoon to get rid of the raccoon, and they sicked the Doberman on it. And that poor Doberman, that mama raccoon got up underneath of its belly. It's like, and it was like, what? Stop! Oh shit! Oh! It was like,
yeah, pet dogs, even sometimes pit bulls, and I'm not encouraging people to investigate this, but pet dogs lose a little bit of their natural predator ability, and so you get them into a fight. You could see lots of German shepherds and pinchers lose fights to cats because cats don't lose that fucking feralness. When they
they pretend to lose it long enough for us to rub their belly, and then they say, "That's enough. I'm gonna."
Yeah.
Because even my cat, who spends 18 hours a day on the corner of the bed, who gets up to shit and eat and drink and to let me know when the other cats are on the deck.
Yeah.
She even remembers what it's like to, she has PTSD from when she was a stray.
None of the viewer count is reflected. The BitChute people are not reflected. Oh, look, we got chats going on like crazy over here now on BitChute. None of that traffic is reflected in the numbers that we're seeing here. I would just wonder how many people are actually viewing. I know it's no big thing, but remember, I was thinking about this last night because
okay, well, just question quick. Will the church be on BitChute on Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Luke Beasley was talking about Benny Johnson inflating his numbers insanely and was pointing out that there's no doubt that he's doing this. Benny Johnson is a right-wing podcaster, media guy. And remember we were on PBMT for a while, and they were just lying about numbers. They had because they had a WordPress site that had an artificial counter code in there that would just spin out numbers, just make shit up. So I'd go there and say, "Wow, we got 8,000 people on PBM TV," but none of them would respond in any of the chat stuff. Like if anybody's there, say hello, and they never did. And it was just this fucking counter thing. Rumble for some reason was always inflating numbers. Like we would go to Rumble and I'd see, we got 300 viewers on Rumble. How come none of them we get 2 comments? That's not right. Benny Johnson is this guy. He's over the last 6 months, he's seen his subscribers just go through the roof, but his views have not gone up. That doesn't add up. If you get 2 million new subscribers in 3 months, but your views are staying the same as they were before that, that's impossible. I mean, you can't subscribe without going to the channel and viewing it, right? So, and you can pull up this data, and it's just like, why would somebody do that? Why fake those numbers? It's not like he had a small channel and was trying to impress people that he had a big channel in the beginning. He already had 1 million or more than 1 million subscribers before he started doing it. So what's the point of that? Exactly. This is a guy, by the way, who got paid by the Russians to tweet, to talk about their talking points. Right. And then he got caught doing it, and they cut off the money. Like, but what is the purpose of buying these bots from these people on these things and just like, yeah, go subscribe? You're never going to watch the channel. You're never going to comment. Who is that for? Are you trying to impress Joe Dope, who just is coming by to say, oh, look, he's got 7 million subscribers. He must be somebody. They don't care about that. When you go on YouTube, are you overly impressed by the number of, like, oh, look, he's got 7 million subscribers. I have to watch that. No, you care about the content they were delivering. I think this is just my thing, and I just don't fucking get it. Like, who are you trying to impress? Your mother? Your friends? What the fuck? I'm gonna make believe. I'd like to make believe we have 1 million subscribers, and only Becky in the chat room right now.
Yeah, now Becky already answered that question. It was Traverse City, Michigan. Like I said, my wife was just having difficulty believing that somebody could stab 11 people in a Walmart and before somebody, stopped them.
Yeah. Also, let's take into account that these are people in Walmart, which means they're not all that. they're not research scientists at MIT. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, I could see somebody. Oh, look, he got stabbed. What should I do? It doesn't click. Run away, or to jump on the guy and grab the knife out of his hand. No, I just did it.
Well, eventually, a bunch of people in the store cornered them and subdued them.
Yeah. Subdued him, and by subdued, I mean took the knife away from him and waited for the cops to come and get him.
Well, I'm assuming. Okay, Stephen Ortiz has sent me a text. I don't know what that's for.
Well, it's just fucking middle fingers. I don't know. Did we say?
Was that middle fingers? I thought those were thumbs up.
It looks like middle fingers. And why is he giving a? I didn't even say anything bad about him yet today. I think I said about he was covering up vaginas and nipples at one point.
Right, which is a disgrace.
I don't think there's anything derogatory in that. It's not like I'm putting him down. He's covering, and I'm the one who used him to cover up the nipples and vaginas. So if I take the blame on that, I'm sorry, Steve. I didn't mean to make you cry.
Now, last night I was working on getting better sound quality for the plausible shows, and I thought my computer had a hole that it didn't have. Well, it had a hole. It's just not what I thought it was for. Okay, I thought it was like an eighth inch input for like a microphone, and it's not. When I went to put something in there, that could be like the condenser mic or something. But I thought the condenser mic was on the other side.
Oh, I gotta play it now. You made me want to play this for you. Let me see how I could share. Can I share this? It's because it's in my my message app on.
If you can put it on your screen, you can share it. You just share that screen.
Window, yeah, I think I could do it this way. Yeah, here it is. It's in my messaging app. My wife sent me this morning, and I think I'll play it and then I'll comment on it.
Okay.
Come on, dude. I clicked the go. I'm clicking you go. Go. You're not going to play? Now I'm going to get the spinning ball of death.
The spinning balls of death.
Oh, and now we're not sharing it? Is that what's going on here? Oh, yeah, there it is. But no, why isn't it playing?
I don't know.
Come on, dude. Play. You motherfucker.
Okay, for those of you listening on the radio and have no idea what it is, Matt is attempting to share something. Okay. He's got it pulled up on the screen and he's clicking on it, but nothing is happening.
Oh, no, lots of browser windows are open. That's what's happening.
Can you close the browser windows?
I'm doing that.
Oh.
Wow. So anyway, let me just I'll just recap what this guy. So he's basically saying, if I can unshare now, fucking go away. He's basically saying that he uses AI to create artwork that isn't even real paintings, that he sells online, and he makes $72,000 a month in selling this stuff. But if you could see in just this still image here that I have, he's talking into a lapel mic, a lavalier mic, as if it's like a real microphone.
Yeah, I see that. He's holding a lavalier mic, and it looks like it has the clip. It looks like it has the clip.
It does have a clip. And like he doesn't know how to use it, first of all, but also the room he's in is not a mansion. If you're making $72,000 a week, you can afford a real microphone and a decent sound system and all this stuff, and you're not in what looks to be like a studio apartment. But his claim was that he's selling these things as he's creating the art. He said it's a picture of a beach. He creates goes to AI and prompts it to create a painting of a beach scene, a seascape scene. Then he puts it and goes in Photoshop and makes it look like it's on a canvas, puts it on a digital and whatever they call it, non-fungible tangibles NFT site, and sells the digital copy of that. Like you have to print out your own canvas and he's selling enough of them every week. People are buying this fake art to the tune of $72,000 a week or a month, or $72,000 a month. That's still a fucking huge amount of money.
Yeah, it's still a little bit more than what I'm making going at that's good open mic money.
For something that still isn't even real art that you didn't create. And after all that money, $72,000 a month, you can't buy a real microphone or a real house, or it just doesn't add up.
Becky has a demographic information for us. Can you? It's.
I think you guys. Demo is comedy and radio fans. Good 29. Yeah. Mostly from New York, but with packets in Florida. How do you know this? This is pretty true. I mean, it's mostly male. To be honest, I know the analytics. I think she's pretty right on from what I can see here. But how does she know this? Is she doing like analytics? How you know this?
Apparently, she says that's her superpower. That's her superpower.
Yeah.
Now, what she did not mention is that even though that is our demographic for the most part, we are number 3 in science.
Yeah, that and physics.
Yeah, we're number 3 in science and physics, which reminds us we probably need to do something sciencey or physicsy today to keep that rating. We could drop down. She worked for Nielsen. You mean Leslie Nielsen from Police Squad?
Is he still alive? I don't think so. He's got to be gone, right?
I think he's dead.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're like way tilted towards the male audience. I mean, if you look, I think we're 85% male listeners. No offense to Becky or Ann, but I think you're in a vast minority. Women don't like us because of me.
They did like us, but when Willie was here. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, there was one more woman in the audience, and that was what was her name?
Red hair.
Yeah, Kelly. Kelly, yeah.
Kelly Dawn or something.
Is she still following Willie around?
Yeah.
I feel bad for her.
Well, there was a woman that was following Steven for a while.
Yeah.
I don't get that. I'm not saying I don't get it like I don't understand it. I'm saying I don't get that like it doesn't happen to me.
Oh yeah. Well, no comment from me. But Steven's not that hard to catch. But with Kelly, maybe I shouldn't even go here. But I know she's in a committed relationship with a guy named Steve. And like she's constantly flirting with these guys online, out in the open. That to me is if I don't want to say caught. If I saw that my wife doing that, I would feel highly disrespected and feel like, what's the point? Why are we even married if you're gonna just flirt with guys?
Well, maybe they have an open relationship, or maybe that's what he likes. He thinks his wife is more. He thinks she's more attractive when he thinks that she's more. He thinks he's more attractive when she's more attractive, and he thinks she's more attractive when other people want her too.
Takes all kinds. Takes a village. Takes a town. What does it take? It takes
patience. Yeah, it takes cash. It takes Uber.
Oh, that's nice. I'm gonna stop taking cash soon, right? Nobody's going to take cash anymore.
I hope not. I still have something I found in the yard I got to launder.
Yeah.
I'm going to report 90% of it to
What are you vouching for here, Becky? She's been with her boyfriend for 19 years. I can vouch for that. Vouch for the fact that I think what you were just saying about finding other people finding the spouse attractive makes them more attractive. I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, yeah, so this is where we are today. Adam Neely. You know who Adam Neely is?
Oh, she's saying women flirt. Well, men flirt too. As a matter of fact, when my wife and I first started dating, and she wasn't my wife then because we were just dating. We actually weren't even when we were friends. I told her that I'm a big flirt. I said I don't mean anything by it. I'm not even sure that I can help myself when I do it, but I am. I'm a big flirt. And I said, my biggest problem is when people flirt back because I don't really mean anything by it. I don't know how to stop it. And so, I mean, when I was single, sometimes I'd wind up in bed with people because I didn't know when to stop the flirt. It's like, and it's like, okay, what's next? Oh, okay, we're doing that now. Oh, okay, yeah, okay,
I'm
and
not a big flirt, but I have like being in the band, especially with these older cougars. I'm sorry, because I know I'm no fucking spring chicken, but I'm talking about people who are older than me, and I'm talking about when I was in my 40s, especially. There was a lot of this going on. Women who would flirt with me, and I would say just one thing, and then wish I had not said that, and now they're assuming that I want to flirt with them, and I'm not by nature a flirt. I want to stop, and I don't know how to end it without just being rude. Just say, I listen, and I have just saying I'm happily married is not enough sometimes. Like, look, I'm happily married and I'm not in, but they just once you give them,
that makes you a challenge. Look, when I was, and if you paid attention to any of my comedy routines, when I was in my 20s, I hit a dry spell for about 6 or 7 months. And I couldn't get a date if you gave me money. I couldn't get a date if I paid for it. It was just awful. And then I had a friend of mine, a good friend. She was telling me not to be so. She says, "Don't be so hard on yourself." She goes, She says, "You're funny. You're now." She says, "You're funny. You have a good, you're a wonderful personality. She says any woman would be like really lucky to have you." To go out with you. And I said, "Would you go out with me?" She goes, "I mean, any other woman would be lucky to go out with you." And then she told me, "This is what you should do. You should get yourself a wedding band." She goes, "Get yourself a wedding band and don't say anything about your wife. Just let people see it. Women will flock to you like you're a unicorn or something." And she was
that I
right.
can vouch for. Yeah,
I put on a wedding band. I wasn't married, and I was getting hit on like you wouldn't believe. I even started a relationship with a woman who thought I was married, and I really wanted to go like much further. I really wanted us to be like an item. I mean, we were just like fuck buddies, but I wanted to go to the next level. But it wouldn't go to the next level because I was married. So I told her, "Look, I'm not married." And she lost her fucking mind. She goes, "You lied to me all this time." I said, "Well, I never said I was married." I said, "Wait a minute. You were fucking a man you thought
my
was married."
finger lied to you.
I said, "You married?" I said, "You mad at me because I'm available and not at yourself for cheating on my poor wife my poor imaginary wife who has 2 imaginary kids and an imaginary dog. They're suffering. My imaginary family is you're cheating on them." But she lost her shit on me, man.
Wow.
When she found that I wasn't married.
Speaking of the last man who walked on the moon, Colonel Mike Kaufman. I used to say that when he'd show up at gigs, and people would believe it. I'd say, Colonel Mike Kaufman, the last man to walk on the moon, and I actually had people in the audience fucking believing. I don't think. I'm pretty sure he's never walked on the moon. Mike, you should come on the show one time. I'd like to talk pigeons. Mike's father was the only guy. And my father had pigeons in Brooklyn on the top of a apartment building. Mike's father was the only guy I knew in the suburbs who had lots of pigeons. I don't know if they were carrier pigeons.
They carried something, some kind of disease. They were carrying all the kids in the neighborhood developed pink eye and whooping cough.
Yeah. A pigeon coop in his backyard, and lots of pigeons you would see them like fly off all in unison. Like, wow, where'd they go? And how do you get them all back?
They come back to the coop because that's where they live.
Yeah, racing pigeons, Mike is saying. Wow, that would be a hard now because. And listen, I'm no expert in this, but it would be. I'm sorry to use a racial slur here, but don't they all look alike?
No, when we were kids, we had racist pigeons.
Racist pigeons.
Yeah, we had racist pigeons. We taught them all to say things like honky. Our pigeons didn't coo. They went honky, honky.
I could see the winning bird in the race. All right, winner. He's mine. No, he's mine.
They have little bands on their feet too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And not
Yeah, I
all
told you I
pigeons
was
look
electric.
alike. You can tell them. You can tell them apart. You can.
Tesla loved pigeons. He loved pigeons more than people. He would hang out with pigeons. So no surprise, we have a huge pigeon population here because Tesla's property is still there, and his property is still over. I mean, I'm just going to take a ridiculous exaggeration here. I would say there are probably 1,000 pigeons living on that property, and they aren't in a coop. They just live there.
Well, that's home. They probably keep going back. You
Yeah.
know.
Did you ever? My wife was surprised by this. We had a stale loaf of bread, and I said, "I'm going to give it to the birds," and she said, "What?"
Right.
Like I had to say 5 times, "I'm gonna go feed the birds." Like she didn't like it didn't register. Like, what do you say? You're gonna feed bread, stale bread? Like my father used to do this all the time. Sometimes he would get squirrels and other things coming in,
Right.
but he would feed the birds stale bread all the fucking time.
Right.
And it's like, am I the only one who's done this? Why are you looking at me?
No,
Like
a matter of fact, last night. Well, I don't. No, I don't eat white bread. All my bread in the house is like brown seeded bread, whole grain stuff. And so last night, one of the raccoons, Reggie, showed up late. He showed up after all the food was gone, and he like knocked on the door. And my cat let me know he was out there. She does not like raccoons at all. She likes the little ones, the kittens. But once they get her size, she doesn't like them anymore. And Reggie is her size. She liked him when he was a kitten, but now that he's grown, she doesn't like him.
Yeah.
And he comes to the door looking for food because he gets there late. And so I took some bread out the fridge, and
I was a funny kid. Mike says, "I remember when I told you my dad raises pigeons. You asked me who wins, the pigeons or my dad." I watched a lot of Groucho, and Mike used to. Mike and I used to go. There was a theater in West Islip, New York. I think it was West Islip or West Islip, where they would run on Friday nights Marx Brothers movies. And there were only 13 Marx Brothers movies in total, but we would go like over and over again, and sometimes to see the same movies in a theater. Unusual. Because think about that. These are in the 1970s, teenagers going to see stuff that was from 50 or 60 years before. I guess it's applicable today. You could see people going to see a movie, like if the original Planet of the Apes was something from the 1960s or 70s was re-released in theaters today. You could see kids going to that and just checking it. Star Wars, maybe? I don't know. Just trying to grasp the stories here. Like, what would teenagers be interested in enough old movies, 60-year-old movies to go see today? Probably Star Wars, right?
I would think Star Wars, Marvel. Oh, I mean, but old movies.
Yeah. Oh, somebody on the Matt and Shane's podcast, they were talking about Woody Allen movies. And Shane Gillis was saying he had never seen Woody Allen movies. It's like, if all you know about Woody Allen is the pedophilia and stuff, you're missing out. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, yeah, because it was his stepdaughter, right? But she wasn't.
Or was it? Well, maybe it was incest.
It was
it's not even incest, though.
Yeah,
it's not incest because they're not related. It's not pedophilia because they waited until she was an adult. I guess it's just creepy. I guess.
Yeah, the creepiness. That's what this Woody's creepiness, and so whatever. But if that's all you know about Woody, and you haven't seen Bananas, or you haven't seen Sleeper, or any of his fucking movies,
everything you want to know about Sex, but was afraid to ask.
Oh yeah, what was the bank robber movie? I forget what that was.
I don't know, but there was Annie Hall. There was Hannah and His Sisters. There was Zelig.
Yeah.
Just off the top of my head, I can't remember the bank robber movie.
The bank robber. He said he kept giving him a note, and it looked like he wrote, "I have a gun." And the teller's dog says, "It looks like Gub." Yeah, so you have a Gub here.
I remember that.
What the fuck movie was that? It doesn't matter. But Woody Allen's movies are fucking great. If you don't know his movies, I don't know if kids would go see them if we released. And Woody Allen didn't. It was like the Marx Brothers. He didn't have more than 13 movies, right? Or whatever it was. So ones that were, and when I first started this, I had when we were on Roku, I was running
Take the Money and Run. Was that the name of it?
Take the Money and Run. That's it. I was running, and that was before Steve Miller had this fucking hit song with Take the Money and Run. But I was running Monkey Business, Coconut. All these things are public domain, so I could run these things, and nobody had any fucking interest in them at all. And it just blew my mind. It's like when I was a kid, if Monkey Business was on late night television, or Coconut, or Horse Feathers, or Duck Soup, any of those fucking movies, I would find a way to stay up to 1:30 in the morning to watch that on the late show or whatever it was. No interest at all in Marx Brothers stuff now. Can't let that shit go to waste. There's some gold, comedy gold in that shit.
My first attempt to make somebody laugh on purpose was when I was 6 years old. My brother and I got caught stealing, and we got punished. And we shared the bedrooms. We were stuck in our room for a week, and my mother closed the door behind us. And my brother looked at me and goes, "I'm going to go crazy. I'm not going to make it." He goes, "Make me laugh, I'm going to punch you in the face."
Whoa.
So, yeah, I was 6 years old. And I started to think, what can I do to make him laugh so he doesn't punch me in the face? And I didn't know any jokes. Well, any jokes I knew my brother knew, because we listened to the same Red Fox albums, my mother's Dirty albums. We listened to that together. So it is not a joke I could tell him. I didn't know how to write a joke. If I did any Three Stooges stuff, he knew that because we watched the Three Stooges together. But he didn't watch the Marx Brothers. He did not like the Marx Brothers. But he didn't know the Marx Brothers. He just didn't like them. So I started doing the first thing I did was the Lydia the Tattoo Lady with all the dance steps and everything, because I used to mimic that stuff. I used to watch all that stuff, and I was like a natural mimic. And I was like, Lydia, oh Lydia, say, have you let me? And I did the whole song and the dance, the whole thing. And my brother like cracking up. Yeah, what?
Can you do the leg thing that Groucho?
I did. Yes, that little. Yeah. It took me a while to get it because
I still can't figure out how that's humanly possible. Like,
yeah, the leg. And like, I'm afraid to do it now because my leg is metal, and I'm afraid to do normal things with my right leg now. But so I did that song, and then the next song I did was "I Am Against It" from Duck Soup. Horse Feathers.
Whatever, right? I've been saying ever since I first commenced it, I'm against it.
Right, and so I did that, and so then I did the Marx Brothers stuff, like I shouted "Elephant in My Pajamas," "How to Get in My Pajamas," I don't know, stuff like that. I did all the one-liners, and my brother's like laughing, but that took like 20 minutes, and we're done. I burned through all my Groucho stuff in about 20 minutes, and my brother looks at me and he goes, "I'm bored. Make me laugh, I'm gonna punch you in the face."
Wow.
So that's when I created my first character. I created Darko Marx, the black illegitimate love child of Mr. Marx. There was Harpo, Chico, Gummo, Zeppo, Groucho, and Darko. I was the sixth Marx brother.
Wow.
But I just did like Harpo's voice. I mean, Groucho's voice, Harpo's mannerisms, and Chico. I did all that shit. I just combined them and made another Marx brother. And
anybody who's interested in learning about Groucho Marx, I'm going to do this myself, is find my Robert Klein interview, because Robert Klein in the 70s, when I was just like really loving all the Marx Brothers stuff, Groucho invited Robert Klein to his home, where he was almost like sort of bedridden. Eric Fleming was kind of taking care of him and gold digging at the time, and Groucho invited Robert Klein to his bedroom to have an afternoon with him, and just like what a fucking gift that is to actually get to sit with somebody like that and pick their brain about.
We also had the guy from the guy who was like his biographer or something.
Yeah,
we had him on the show.
Steve Stolier. Yeah, he's a kind of temperamental guy. If you say, he will block you for saying something that you don't even think is like controversial. So he fucking. You talk about me starting shit on social media. This guy will fucking start a war over the silliest like just a joke that you misquoted or something. You got the word wrong in a old joke. He will block you for that. Like, what the hell? I think he's blocked me for that. I'm not sure. I haven't seen him in a while. That was an interesting interview, though. But yeah, Robert Klein. I mean, there's some stuff in there about his conversations with Groucho. I have to review. Good stuff.
Alan Katz. Alan Katz is another Grouchophile. He loves the Marx Brothers. I mean, he is, like I said, I love the Marx Brothers when I was younger. I still appreciate what they did to this day. You know, it left a permanent imprint on me. You know, but he still remembers like all the stuff like it happened yesterday. And for me, it's just part of my personality now. It's just like there, you know. Like, I can't remember all the words to Lydia the Tattoo Lady. I'd have to look it up. I don't remember the words to I'm Against It. I have to look it up. And then once I started singing, I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember that word now. But he just, like, whips them off. Like he starts off with any bones, any bags, any bottles a day, you know. And I'm like, oh, I forgot that was part of it. Yeah. And then he goes to the next thing. It's like,
and on a clear day, you can see Alcatraz.
Right.
You can learn a lot from Lydia. Yeah, I can't remember all. I used to know all the words to that. And then in Horse Feathers, the song was "I Love You." Everyone says "I love you." And what happened in the Marx Brothers movies is Groucho would play it on a guitar or something and sing it to a girl. Chico would play it on a piano at a different point in the movie. Then eventually Harpo would find a harp just sitting somewhere.
Yeah, like a piano. He'd break a piano apart, and then what's left is a harp,
and play the same song. So those songs became hits that way. They don't do that in movies anymore. Where that was a good technique to make something a hit record in those days. It's just like play it 3 times in a movie. 3 different people play the same song in a different styling or different technique, and make it a hit record.
And Zeppo would do the popcorn scenes.
Yeah.
Zeppo, and then there was another guy. I can't remember his name.
Gummo.
No, the guy that took the good-looking singing guy.
Oh yeah, yeah, and he was only in the first couple of. He was in Night at the Opera, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but they did the popcorn scenes where the guys they would sing a song, and the ladies would go, "I'll watch this," and the guys would go, "I'll go get the popcorn and soda."
Yeah, I can't remember that guy either. I should look that up. And that's I wonder he's got some relatives that are still alive who should be writing a book about his, because that was it. That was his whole career, was the handsome guy in Marx Brothers movies. I don't know if he could sustain a life off of that.
Wow. I apologize, Bethany. Beth Brimberry. I was not paying attention to my phone because I didn't see anything going on. All of a sudden, I have like 30 messages. Beth, welcome. And Horse Feathers, yeah, she's a big Marx Brothers fan.
Was she on Govs?
Govs, yeah.
There's an issue with Govs, by the way.
Yeah, it's Tony. He's crazy. He's lost his mind. No, what's the issue?
I'm not sure if I can say what the issue is. I'm not sure if I'm allowed. But the building is, so there'll be no podcast today. Nobody's allowed in the building. At least as of last night, nobody was allowed in the building. So basically, there will be no live shows after us today, unless Tony is going to phone it in from home or something. People are.
Wait a minute! I'm just finding this out because I was going to go up there. I was going to go to the studio after we get off the air.
I know you were. That's why I'm putting it out there now. Don't know you were. Let me see. It might be. I don't know if I got a follow up on this. Whether it's been cleared to go back in the building or not. I think. I don't know. What? I'm probably not at liberty to kind of. Why would I get it in a private message if it was meant to be public? Oh yeah, no, I cannot disclose that. But anyway, so there'll be no shows on the Governor's Network. So I could be here all day and just steal it because nobody else can broadcast on their network except me. I'm the only guy with a home thing. So,
yeah,
they have to cancel shows. Obviously, yeah. If people can't go in the building, they're gonna have to cancel. I don't know who.
They can do it from the parking lot.
They do. They have an outdoor, but it's not the best weather for it here.
I didn't see an outdoor thing there.
Yeah, you have to, from where you were at the front door, you'd have to go left.
Remember, we went in the back.
around
We went in the back way.
We went in the back onto the right side. On the other side, there's like a driveway, and then there's an outdoor cabaret on the opposite side where we went in.
Mm-hmm.
They have that, and they do that sometimes in the summers. I think that makes sense. It's just a little weird to do comedy outdoors, especially in an area like that that's got a lot of traffic and stuff. I mean, the cars could be distracting, motorcycles going by, distracting, planes flying over.
I've done comedy outside a couple of times, maybe three times. Once was like a veteran. It was called the Veterans Amphitheater, and there was like a couple hundred people out in the thing, and they had their dogs and their children, so it all had to be clean comedy. And I think my most captive audience was the dog. It was a dog. It's like, because everyone's like, kids are like running around outside. I'm like doing my bit. And a couple of the comedians didn't show up, so they wanted me to expand my bit. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to risk, because I'm trying to stay clean. If I go off script, I may not stay clean.
Oh, wow! Look at this guy. You're at Governor's on August 3rd. No, this is just a guy who looks like you. Or looks like a younger version of you.
Whoa! There's no such thing as a younger version of me. I'm the younger version of me.
There's some good people. Now, this Friday, Putty. You remember Seinfeld Putty?
Yeah.
And what did he play? He played
He played Elaine's boyfriend, the big dumb guy.
But then he had like
Christian. He played the born-again Christian guy.
A series of his own where he played like a superhero that was like the Gnat or something.
The Tick.
Yeah, the Tick.
He played the Tick.
Yeah.
The comic book, The Tick. Actually, the cartoon, The Tick, was really good.
Really? I didn't even
I don't like the live action one. They had to change too many things for the live action. And so it didn't have the same bite, the same cleverness. The cartoon, The Tick, was so good. The writing was so good. It was really, really good. I really liked it. I was upset when they stopped, when it went off the air.
Becky, are you sure? Because I don't think Klein was still playing like club level, unless it was New York City clubs, when your mom was still living in Long Island, New York. I'd have to check on this to see if Klein ever played Governors. I think your mom probably has, your aunt probably has pictures of him at like Caroline's or Catch a Rising Star or Dangerfields. I can't imagine him ever playing at Governors. Governors opened in like 1980, and by that time, Robert Klein had already been doing HBO specials and all, and he was more or less a theater guy by that point. I'm a big Klein guy, one of my idols. One of my idols. I love him.
The one bit of his that I liked was he was like doing a blues guy. He had the harmonica, and he just starts singing. He goes, "I can't stop my leg," and to me that was like so hilarious because I would not have gone there. To me, that was like, if that went someplace, and I like comedians that could go places that I would not have thought to have gone. But now that he's gone there, I can think to go there.
Yeah.
So they opened up, once they do a little thing, they open up something inside my head. They're like, oh shit, I can do that, but I can't do that.
He was on John Pavaramo's podcast about 6 months before I met him. And I was in the chat room there, and they were taking questions. And I said, "Can he stop his leg yet?" And he said, "Oh!" And he ran off and got his harmonica. Oh no, he had the harmonica ready right at and he's just picked up the harmonica and started going to, "I can't stop my leg." And then when I had him on the program, I reminded him of that, and he said, "Oh!" And he ran out of the fucking room to go get his harmonica and come back and do that song. Like it's a trigger for him as soon as he hears that.
And the thing is that was like, that's the first bit of his. Now, I don't even know how long he'd been doing comedy, but that was the first bit of his that I saw that actually left an imprint on me. And I'd seen other things of his. That wasn't the first time I'd seen him, but when he did that just opened up a whole nother door for me.
That was his first HBO special, and like, I hope the credit for this doesn't get lost in the annals of comedy history because people don't really pay that much attention to that. But he was the first guy. The reason there are comedy specials was because Robert Klein invented the art form of comedy specials. There was none before that, and HBO was like a fledgling network where people paying for television, that was a new fucking idea.
And they had like the same shit over and over and over again.
Yeah. And so his was the very first comedy special, and that one was on that bit was on the special. I noted him as much as I loved his comedy, and I still do love all. He didn't do anything that I was ever not happy with. I loved his music even more, and a lot of people who were in bands with me when I was basically the main writer for the band blamed him for making me a show tune guy rather than a rock guy because I was so influenced. But he had a song called "The Bronx is Beautiful This Time of Year," which is a comedic song, but it's very much a show tune, just like almost like all his stuff ends up being a show tune. But I would try to write stuff that like he was doing because I found it funny, but I also found it musically inspiring. I remember him doing Lenny Coco's Since I Fell for You, not Since I Fell for You. What the fuck is it now? I don't know. It'll come to me. But like a classic old blues doo-wop song and making it show business and really spicing it up to the point where I was like, this is classy music. This is really good stuff. And then people hated me for it. You're supposed to be writing rock and roll songs. What are you writing show tunes for? It softened me up a little bit.
The prodigal son has returned. Ian is in the chat. He says he's busy working right now. I guess he's busy working.
Busy working. How about you?
Now,
Ian.
There was a Victor Borgen. Him too. Both of them. They were a duet.
Borgen and Borga.
Victor Borga. I used to love watching him. Whenever he was on television, I would like make sure I saw him because he was just funny, even without the jokes. And I didn't. He was just funny. But
wow.
I found a routine of his online where he's doing, I think, the William Tell Overture. And first he's like playing it in his hands across like this. He's trying to play it like this. Then he realizes that the music, he switches the pages like this, and then he can start playing it like this, and it still doesn't sound right. Then he turns the pages right side up, and then he plays it. And that was, at that moment, because of what he did there, I used to turn sheet music upside downwards to see how it sound, with doing it like that. And as a matter of fact, once I got into a band, I was working on a song that if you played it forward or backwards, it would be the same.
Wow.
That was what I was working on. If you played it forward, if you turn it upside downwards, it would be the same thing. Because of that, I never finished the song because I was not that talented in theory.
It sounds like a major undertaking.
It was, which is why I quit after 3 pages.
Yeah.
Well, 6. Technically 6, because 3 in the front and 3 in the back. But yeah, because I play it and then I turn it upside downwards and play it. That sounds awful. It has to be, and then that was just melody. And then to go with the chords, it's like I was having a fit. And I went to my friend Phil, who had a master's in music.
Phil comes up often, I have to say.
Yeah, well, actually, he didn't have the master's in music yet. He was working on his master's. And Doug, who was also, I think he had a bachelor's in music. So, like I said, my band had degrees in music, and I just had a degree of talent. So they were like, "Why are you doing this? It's going to sound like shit by the time you get to it's going to sound awful." And so I gave up because I thought they could help me. And instead of them helping me, they were like, "What the fuck you doing that for?" So I stopped because it was really hard work, and I didn't want to put in that much work. I thought I was just smart enough that I could do it.
And the reason I wouldn't invest all that energy is because only musicians would get it, and it'd be really difficult to explain that joke to non-musicians.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a lot of work.
The title of it was called Audio Parallax. That's what I called it. That was the working title anyway, Audio Parallax.
Yeah.
That's because I thought what I thought a parallax wasn't what it was. That's why I named it Audio Parallax. And later on I learned what a parallax was. I was like, oh, that's not what this is.
Yeah. This Friday, August 1st, 8 o'clock, Patrick Warburton, aka Putty from Seinfeld, will be at Governor's. But what got me interested here now, in the Giggle Room at the same time on Friday night, Ryan Rizzuti. Ryan Rizzuti is son of Benny Rizzuti, who's a comedian friend, but also a guy I used to work with. Actually, he worked for me. And when I was at APM Studios, he was a real estate photographer, videographer. And I remember the CEO of EPM Studios saying to him, "Oh, you're a comedian? Make me laugh." I know. I, as a witness to that, that was basically my reaction. He was just standing there shaking his head and turning red. He didn't know that's actually the proper. That should be a textbook reaction to that. Make me laugh. Yeah, you can't just do stand up for one person on the spot like that. But so I've never seen Ryan do stand up. I'm tempted to go to Governor's Friday night to Giggle Room.
I was headlining in Pittsburgh. No, a town just outside of Pittsburgh. I can't remember the name of the town. But this was the first time I actually saw my name on a marquee. Usually when I performed, I had show names, and so the show was on the marquee. So like when I did My Parents Meant Well was on the marquee because I didn't think that people would come see me, but I thought they'd come see a show.
Yeah.
And so like that was like The Disillusionist was up in Marquee, or I can't remember the name of other shows now, but I didn't have my name in the marquee. And I finally it says, headlining GD Fenderson, and I was like, shit, that's a lot of responsibility. And so I was like so fucking nervous, and because I was like, shit, I'm the guy that comes in. Now I've headlined, I don't know how many times before, but my name was not on a marquee, okay, with the lights and the whole bit. And I'm like, I was freaking out. And so the guy goes, just take a walk. He goes, why don't you go out and just bark tickets. And I said, okay. So I went out and I'm like handing out flyers, and I'm walking up and down the street, and I'd say things like, see that guy? That's me. And so I approached a bunch of black guys. There's like 5 of them in the group. And I said, come on the show. I said, that's me there. And they said, are these free tickets? I said, no, these are flyers. They're not even tickets. You have to pay to get in. And he goes, why would we pay to get in and see you? Are you funny? I said, well, if I wasn't funny, I wouldn't be headlining. And he goes, well, tell us a joke. And I looked at him and I said, I'm not telling you a fucking joke. I said, and then I went off on a tirade, and the tirade just turned out to be humorous by the time I was done because I felt weird giving them a lecture about it. So it turned into like a humorous rant. And then I got to the end of it and I said something to the guy, and it was like a takedown. Again, not on purpose. I didn't set out to take it. I let my mouth out of gear and it just flowed. And then they all went, oh shit. And then they ran. They bust out laughing. They ran. And I thought to myself, I've only seen that on YouTube when black people laugh so hard they run. And I'm like, that's not a real thing. And I actually watched it for real for the first time. And I'm like, oh shit, black people do that.
Why did they see the same thing every day during the show? I remember the first time I saw my name on a marquee. It's fucked up because I'm trying to remember what I did. I changed the letters with the letters that were on the marquee. I climbed up on a fucking ladder and was changing. And I remember Dull Nip Oreos was something I put on there for something. Those were the letters that were available, but it's at something really perverted with the Dull Nip Oreos. And I don't remember what the first part was, but I remember the club owner ended up suing me over that. I don't know. I felt intimidated by seeing my name on the marquee, so I just went up there and changed it, and we got a bigger crowd because of that. But the guy was not pleased, and he ended up suing me over there. And I don't know how because this was before there were surveillance cameras. I don't know how he knew it was me that did that.
You had to get the ladder from somewhere. Somebody probably ratted on you.
Yeah. No, the ladder was sitting out back. It was I think it was like a Dallas or something. That was the name of the club. It was a weird fucking like. Why would you have a club on Long Island called? I think it was called Dallas. It's like, what the fuck? That's not a name of a nightclub. You could see if it was in Texas. But, August 8th and 9th, Matt Friend is at Governor's. You know Matt Friend?
I know the name.
Fucking great. He's a impressionist, whatever.
Oh, that guy. Oh,
fucking really good.
I don't like him at all.
Really?
I'm not a big no. I'm not a fan of his at all. I mean, he does some good impersonations. Other impersonations he does, people just give him license because he does such a good Trump. And I think the other ones he does are not as good as his Trump, but because he does a good Trump, they just like grandfather the others in. I don't think he's as good as he's being touted, and I don't think he's as funny, and I don't think his material is as funny. At least from what I've seen on television, I've seen like maybe a dozen of interviews of him, and the people when they interview him, they always say the same thing. He's hilarious. I'm like, no, he's talented.
Oh no, I remember his Mitch McConnell was fucking unbelievably good.
Yeah, his Mitch McConnell was pretty decent. It was.
Yeah.
I didn't think his material was that good. I thought he had good voice talent, but I didn't think his material was that good.
I see a lot, or I used to see. I'm not seeing him anymore. I used to see a lot of his reels on Instagram or TikTok, or I think mostly Instagram. But just him walking around New York City, and some of the stuff, he wasn't doing impressions at all. He was just being funny with people, and I thought he was hysterical. I'm gonna probably.
I've never seen any of his TikTok stuff. Like I said, I've only seen him on television, on shows being interviewed, and doing things like
to be playing Governors like constantly this month. What the hell? I've never seen him have somebody back every week before. This is Lisa Marie's. She's another person I see on Instagram a lot. She's funny, but.
There are people that I think are talented but not funny. You know, I think they're talented, but I don't enjoy their humor. Like there's a guy, he's got a talk show, a late night talk show is Jimmy something. He has like dark hair that's like usually spiked up. Was that Fallon?
Yeah.
And he does like you know, like he's talented musician and stuff like that. I think he's talented, but when I watch his material, I'm thinking, you could go deeper, you could go better, or you know, that's.
To be fair, I have really never seen him since he got the Tonight Show. When he was on SNL, and this is really a long time ago. I think like the late '90s, '97, '98 or something.
Right.
He was very good, and when he was doing comedy clubs in Brooklyn, he was very good, very good. But I just didn't think. He was, and I know he is a talented musician and all that.
Yeah, he's talented. I think he's very talented.
I just I couldn't see him as a Tonight Show host, and I've never watched, not even a clip online. I don't. The only thing I can remember is him. There was a viral clip of him messing up Trump's hair in 2016 that was going around, and I didn't watch the whole thing. I just was watching one. I just saw that why people were being upset. Lots to see why people were being upset about that, and they felt like he was humanizing Trump a little bit too much, but I didn't think that's the right format for him. He was a very good joke writer when he was doing comedy clubs before SNL, and then on SNL, I thought he had some brilliant bits. Don't ask me to tell you what they are now.
Yeah. Speaking of, I saw another clip of Anthony Jeselnik. I've seen like maybe 14 of his bits on TikTok, and I saw a second one that I liked also that I kind of laughed out loud. A second
the one-eyed kid thing? No. Was it?
No, this isn't the one-eyed kid thing. This is I told you the one about the priest.
The naked brother?
No. This is may have been a pregnant woman. I can't remember now. But I did see a second one. So I've seen like 13 or 14 of them, and I've seen 2 that I laughed out loud.
I love Jeselnik. If he ever comes within 100 miles of me, I'm gonna try to make arrangements to go to the show. Even if I have a gig, I'll cancel it to go see him live. Never seen him live. Seen all his specials. Just think he's a great joke writer because he surprises you and I know it's very dark but you try to imagine where is he going with this thing, and then it just tends to
Well, those were the 2 times I laughed because he went places where I didn't expect him. The other times, because I know he's making this stuff up, it's not like a true story where it has he's making it up, and I'm like, okay, if I was making this story, where would I go with this? And he winds up there like every single time except for twice. And those 2 times I was like, oh fuck, he got me, and I laughed. But 2 out of 14, like I was like, oh, okay, I see where he's going. I know where he's going to wind up, and I don't enjoy the trip as much because it's not like he does act outs or anything other than that. He's like the same delivery for everything he does that I've seen so far. So I like people that can catch me off guard.
See, I'm supposed to be saying complimentary things. I didn't say Siri. Close down. Let's get on. I'm supposed to be saying complimentary things about governors and never saying anything bad about them because we are on Governors Network.
Right. But you haven't said anything bad about them yet, have you?
I'm about
It's not like Sticks and Stones.
No.
And actually, you don't say anything bad about Sticks and Stones. You say it about the people they book.
I think more than that. I think I've said some stuff about Abby not following up. I've said some things that I'm not really necessarily all that proud about. But you remember yesterday?
I do remember yesterday. I did 2 hours of yard work.
I think it was Monday. I think yesterday was Monday, right?
Yes,
I
it was.
Talking about a guy on Twitter who's an actor who was talking about Hulk Hogan and defending Hulk Hogan. And this guy happens to be a Jew, and everything that he said, he pro-Israel on everything. And I was saying, well, what happened if instead of writing nigger on that truck, Hulk Hogan had written kike? That guy.
Right.
He's not a comedian. He's going to be he's a B-level actor at best. His name is Michael Rappaport. Does that name ring a bell?
Yeah, that's a white guy. He's I know exactly who he is. Wow, he's aged.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
The thing is, I've only seen him the last time. I know him as the way he looked when he played the cop on Friends. That's how I remembered him.
Wow.
So this is a shock to me. This is.
Yeah, so
wow.
He's going to be playing Governors on November 2nd. He's not a comedian. He was an actor. Most of his stuff was in dramatic roles and as not a lead in any way. He was like a supporting cast member. I don't think he's ever been a star in anything that was his. And now he's doing stand-up, and he's not funny at all. He's angry. He's angry about Israel stuff, Israel-Palestine stuff. I just can't imagine.
That sounds hilarious. I can't wait to see his jokes.
He's doing a whole weekend. He's doing November 7th and 8th at Governor.
I think I may come up for that because I can't wait to hear his jokes about the starving children in Palestine. That's got to be a real knee slapper.
It's not just the starving of the kids; it's then baiting them with food so you can get them to come in closer to shoot them.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
That is a playbook right out of fucking Nazi Germany. Like let's. That's how they got the people to go on trains to go to the Auschwitz. Is they put food on the train. They starve them and then put food on the trains.
Yeah,
ribs. Close the doors.
Kosher ribs.
Yeah. I don't really want to get into the whole because I have definitely no expertise in the Middle East conflict. But these people were trying to say one side is the good people and one side is the bad people. Everybody who's starting a war is a bad person. It takes two. But that idea of starving people so you can trick them into come and shoot them, you don't get more evil than that. Ian, what do you say? I can't see it.
LOL. Rappaport is always making drama on Twitter.
Oh yeah, Rappaport. Yeah. No, he's always and screaming at the camera every fucking day. Like,
then again, I'm not on Twitter, so I don't see those things.
Yeah.
No, okay. I'm on Twitter only in the sense that when I share this, one of the things I hit share. One of the things, when I upload things onto YouTube, it offers me to share it on Twitter, and I'll share it on Twitter, and that's it. I never look to see how it did or if anybody watched it. I just share it, and that's it. Catch and release.
I have a problem with people who pick issues that are only about them or their people. Like, I identify as a white guy, so I'm only going to be like looking for pro-white guy news. Like, he's a Jew, and everything Israel does is right in his mind, and everything any Muslim person would do is wrong, and he is adamant and screaming about that. And it's so self-serving to me. I can't get behind anybody who can't see behind their own identity. I can see being passionate about issues, but you have to make an effort to see it from the other people's side and where the conflict arises, and can't just always assume that the other side is just the devil. They're people wrong and right on both sides, and just to be angry about that. I have a question for Ian. Ian, my dementia is kicking in, and I can't remember why I called you the Antichrist. If you can remember at all why I called you the Antichrist. I was thinking about it yesterday as I was driving. I don't know why. I remember the evil part in Evil Ian, but I can't remember how I kind of convoluted some nonsense about Ian being the Antichrist. And it was bothering me because I should remember my stupidity.
Speaking of stupidity, it's been I was supposed to be doing a couple of done way past funnies, and the last three guests either rescheduled or one just blocked me totally. Robert Yeri.
I wonder why. He seemed like such a nice guy.
I don't know. The thing is, I was looking for a conservative comedian. I don't have any conservative comedians on it. I wasn't trying. It's not like I tried to not. I want somebody to represent every phase of comedy that I can find. And so I would love to have a conservative comedian on there to find out the difference between conservative comedian and progressive and so forth. Because to be honest, when I see conservative comedians, I don't think most of them are funny, and a lot of it's like they're punching down.
I never had a good reason. I find that hard to believe. I think it might not have been a good reason, like legitimately good reason, but I think it had to at least be humorous in some way. Or why would I? I don't think I would.
Is Nick DiPaolo? I don't know. I know the name Nick DiPaolo, but I'm not familiar with what he does.
Nick DiPaolo. There's a classic Mitch Hedberg joke where I like to play my music loud. My neighbor, the apartment next door, was banging on the wall, and I said, "Go around. There's no door on this side." I don't know if whatever that stupid joke was. That was Nick DiPaolo, his neighbor in that room. Nick DiPaolo is definitely a right-wing comedian.
Okay, I don't know his stuff, but I don't know if I can get him on Done Way Past Funny.
Yeah, I'm sure he would say he was way too big for you. He's too big for everybody. I think he's too big for like Anthony Cumia at this point, which is like the world he comes from. He's definitely aligns himself with Cumia's way of thinking. Okay. I don't know. I can think of some right-wing comedians, conservative comedians, but none. I can't think of any on the below that kind of A-level comedy club, headliner comedy club people who might consider going on a show like this or on your show. I just can't think.
I'm like, for example, Dennis Miller, before he became a conservative comedian, I thought was hilarious. I used to watch him, and I really admired his craft. And the other thing is, I didn't realize he had writers at the time. That's the other thing that was new to me. When I found out that comedians didn't write their own stuff, I was like, what? I don't understand, because I wasn't doing comedy back then. I just assumed if you were a comedian, you were writing your own stuff. I mean, I don't know why I didn't apply the logic that if songwriters didn't write music, like Dionne Warwick. I love Dionne Warwick. I don't think she wrote one single song. No. I think Burt Bacharach wrote everything. Yeah, Burt Bacharach. And I didn't know that Smokey Robinson wrote so many songs for other people. I didn't know. I mean, once I figured it out, I never applied it to like comedy, that somebody else was writing their stuff.
But Miller if I have this correct,
Mm-hmm.
I think I do. He wasn't always right wing until
September 11th.
September 11th. That kind of changed his mind about politics in general. He became a Bush guy at that point. But before that, he was touring with Robin Williams. I do believe he was writing his own material and writing for other people. Most of the stuff was his until he got those late night shows,
right?
The HBO stuff, and then
once you get the HBO stuff, because I know, I think Dylan Brody wrote for him for a while.
Yeah. One of the interesting stories of being on the road with Robin Williams, and they were in a bus. You're traveling town to town, and Robin Williams is driving the bus, and Dennis Miller is sitting right behind him on that fresh seat behind the bus. And Robin Williams turns to him and says, if I drive off the road and kill us all, you're going to be also on the bus. Well, that's how you're going to be remembered, also on the bus. Sure, but.
Robin Williams dies also on the bus.
Also on the bus. Yeah. What a shitty way to be remembered. Though. You got to feel for those people. Like there were people when Buddy Holly's plane crashed, but all those people will remember. Like Richie Valens was not just also on the plane. Were
when who else died on the plane crash? Not that plane crash, but sitting on the dock of the Bay guy. What's his name?
Otis Redding.
He died in a plane crash, right?
Yeah, but I don't know who also was on the plane.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know if there wasn't also.
Well, with Jim Croce, we know Maury Schmausenrauser, whatever it is, or something like that, was also on the plane. That's the one I can remember about the plane. Also on board
Leonard Skinner. I don't remember. I don't know any of their names. So to me, the whole plane was also on the plane.
John Denver. I think John Denver was flying solo. He was
solo in a tree.
Pretty sure he took a header too. If I have this, and I might not have this correctly, but I think something went wrong with the plane, and the witnesses saw it doing like a straight down into the beach type of, like, whoa, something out of control there. Very weird. Yeah. So also, but just to have that, this shows you the kind of mind Robin Williams had, even though he was known for taking other people's material too. But just to be constantly thinking of, that's a pretty funny thought to have. Like
it is. I think it's yeah. And just the way it's worded, also on the bus, because that's exactly how it would have been. Yeah. I mean, I write that all the time. Not all the time, because there's not always a bus accident.
I have a paint party coming up
today.
Not. I hope it's not. No, 8:15.
Harry Chaplin died on the L Island Expressway.
Yeah, he was on the way to a charity concert of hunger. Something begins at home. Harry Chaplin was a big. His issue was feeding the hungry. And he died in a limousine crash because he was late for his show. The limo driver, who was also on board, died. That's I'm surprised that Becky even knows that. She does have roots on Long Island, but Harry died on the way to Eisenhower Park, and every year we hold a concert on the day he was supposed to give that concert in his memory, and it's always a charity event. And a couple of years ago, it was before the pandemic, one of the guys I knew very well, I'm laughing, I shouldn't laugh, he died on stage at the same time that Harry would have died. He was the first act going up, and he went up, and he was just gonna give this whole thing a memorial about Harry. This is the anniversary of Harry's death, and it was like the exact time, and the guy just took a heart attack in the middle of giving that speech and dropped dead on stage. That's a way to go. That's fucking show business for you. If you're gonna, you can't beat that.
Was it Albert Brooks' father? Was that the one who died at the shrine doing a roast or something at the Shriners or something? He did the show and actually just destroyed the room. According to accounts, he had probably the best set of his life or something, and sits down and has a heart attack.
Yeah, Jackie was there that night. Yeah, I think he told us that story. I mean, next time we have him on, we gotta ask him about that. But the question I have, because I've talked about the time the guy died on the dance floor with us, and I didn't want to go on and play. Imagine being this is early in the night. This is because he's talking about how he was supposed to be here at this time, blah blah blah. This is early in the night where the guy dies, and there's probably no exaggeration, 15 acts waiting to come on. What happens with the show at that point? I don't recall what happened with the show.
If you're a musical act, you open up with Queen's Sheer Heart Attack, I guess.
How do you follow that? I mean, because the crowd has got to be not in the mood to be entertained at that point, right? I mean,
well, also, how many people in the audience actually know he's dead as opposed to just being carried off?
That's a good question, because with us, they put a sheet over the guy's head.
Because you could carry him off and then have somebody raise his arm like this, so it looks like he's doing this. It's like, he's okay. Look, he's okay.
Well, with the guy at my thing,
the show goes on.
Yeah, they put him on the stretcher. Well, they saw the guys trying to do CPR on him and not being able to resuscitate.
And Matt, they go like this. You see his head like, he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah. They put a sheet over him, put him on the stretcher, put the stretcher in the back of the ambulance. Now, before they did that, Steve Constantino came out and said the Lord's Prayer over the guy's body. So, and then everybody's like, come on, you got to go back on. Like, play Wooly Bully? Are you fucking kidding me? And I'm the only one objecting to going back on.
You got to do a Weekend at Bernie's. You don't let the audience know he's dead,
Yeah.
You just do a Weekend at Bernie's, like, yeah, he's fine, get him off, and then you go to the next act, and everybody's like, he's fine, and then everybody's like, okay, yay, because they don't want to have a good time anyway. They don't want to have a bummer. They don't want to know that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and so, I mean, I got to finish this story up really quickly, though. I went on Facebook and made a joke about that. Like, a guy died on the dance floor, first time for me, probably first time for him, too. And people were, really upset that I made that joke. His family's going to be all...
That's a good joke. That's a good, solid joke.
Whatever. They were upset that I made it, but it turns out he was DOA at the hospital. And these are the fucking people saying, yeah, it's in bad taste to make that joke, but it's in perfectly good taste after the guy's been taken away dead on a stretcher to go on and start playing Wooly Bully again or whatever. We pick up from the same song we were in the set. But he was DOA. They pronounced him DOA in the hospital and put him in the morgue. And he woke up 2 hours later. He wasn't. I don't know how the doctors and paramedics missed all the. He didn't have any vital signs. He was apparently dead. He wasn't even brain dead. He was just unconscious, completely unconscious, to the point where he didn't realize people were trying to do CPR on him. They put him in the morgue, and he woke up and then he finally came walking out of the morgue where am I? That's
Can you imagine being the person who put him in the thing in the drawer, and then you walk out, and you come back in, he's walking around saying, "Holy shit!"
Yeah. Probably thinking this doesn't feel like the catch at Venetian Shores. Where's the band?
Because in all honesty, I think if I walked in the room knowing that the guy was dead, and I walk in the room and he's walking around, I'd be like, shit, a zombie. And I'd try to kill him anyway. I'd be whacking him with a stick or something.
You're fucking dead, dude. Lay down.
And then I'd be in the jail for murder. It's no, he was already dead when I killed him.
Yeah. And all these people that were hating on me, for posting shit on, you got to take that down. Take that down. You're telling me what I can put on my own fucking social media. I hate that. And now I'm getting in wars with people. And then there was never any oh, I'm sorry, you were right. I mean, I should mind my own fucking business. His family actually loved that fucking joke. They thought it was hysterical.
Especially since he lived. No.
Yeah. So fuck you. Don't tell me what I can put on my own. Yeah. Tomorrow, you're going to be late. You got a contractor coming to figure out who to whack.
Yeah. Well, we have a list, and it's just a matter of what he can do for what price we have. We have a list of 11 people, but we have a budget. We can't spend the same money twice, and so we'll show them the list and say, okay, who can we get whacked for this amount of money? And they'll, show us, and then if my wife and I can agree, then yeah, I will move up one more spot in the comedy hierarchy, because all 13 people on the list are comedians, and they're all ahead of me in the hierarchy. So if I can get any one of them off, I can move up.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, my wife and I was trying to think what we can do to move my career forward. You know, because I'm stale. I'm at a part of the staleness is my own making, and part of it's some of the bridges I burned.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
tomorrow for the first hour, I'm going to be all alone because the guest isn't scheduled till the second hour. So tune in for a just to hear Matt
paint
ramble.
party. Oh, set up your paint stuff.
I might. You know what?
Set up your paint stuff.
Oh, that's I didn't mention the paint party because I just got a text about a paint party on 8/15. I have one coming up 8/9 that is for 180 people, and they text me and somebody else who I have not met that we're going to be doing this paint party together. Now, one person is the leader and one person's the assistant. They haven't made that clear. It's going to be like I want to be the assistant. I don't want to be the leader. I just want to be. I don't want to be responsible. If I'm working at that many people with somebody else, I just want to be the steward, the assistant person. I don't want to be the leader. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to be responsible for that. Especially I've had a couple of bad reviews of late.
I was about to say, have you gotten over your reviews yet?
No, I haven't. I was thinking about that yesterday because I was cleaning off my phone and I had all these pictures of these people that were fucking smiling and they're holding their paintings and so happy and they're celebrating and all this stuff. And they gave me a big tip and they said they love me and they follow me on social media. And then they go leave me a bad review. And I'm like, how does any of this fucking make sense? I want to send these fucking pictures of these people loving me to the people who told me I had the bad review and say, does this look like these fucking people were not having a good time? And if they weren't having a good time, why the fuck did they tip me so much money? I mean, I wouldn't. Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Now, this is not the same, but it's the Reverend after he did his first Blessing and Blasphemies show, Blessings and Blasphemy 1. After it was done, people were like, there's actually a woman on the video, very end, the Reverend's walking up the stage, you hear a woman saying, "My face hurts from laughing so hard." Okay, and so afterwards, the Reverend started talking to people, especially the lady goes, "My face hurts so much from laughing so hard." He's like, "So you're going to tell your friends?" She goes, "Oh, no, I can't tell my friends I was here." She says, "This show is way too dirty. I can't tell my friends I was here at this show."
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's like, "I can't tell my friends I was playing with the dildo on stage."
Oh.
Like, well, where do you usually play with it? Don't you know?
Yeah, I shouldn't say I always. There's been many times where there have been people who were ashamed.
Yeah,
they were at our show because it does get a little dirty sometimes. It's kind of a weird thing. You enjoyed it, but we made you feel too dirty to tell your friends that you enjoyed it. That's
that was the problem with the now. Another couple did bring a second couple with them. The second show. They came to the second show. Yeah, they came to the second show. They brought two more people with them. But they would never post on Facebook that they were here. It's like word of mouth. And so she goes, I had to think. She said, we had a good time, but I had to think which of my friends would actually like this too.
There are shows I would be embarrassed to tell people. I said okay, but I didn't mean to say okay. My wife it hasn't happened yet. My wife asked me if I would go to a Matt Rife show, and I said, "Listen, it's not like I don't find Matt Rife funny, but he's just gonna. It's a MILF show, and it's gonna be all these MILFs there, my wife included, who are just there because they think he's hot or whatever." And this is his audience, and for dudes to go there, it's got to be really uncomfortable. And I would, if it does end up happening, I don't think I would be openly talking
about it.
Yeah, I went to a Matt Rife show. Like, really? When did you go gay? Like, what the fuck? What are you doing in a Matt Rife show?
Well, Ron Ron Kane, our Friday guest, has a bit about when he and his wife went to go see Magic Mike 3. And I'm trying to, and I'm trying not. I don't want to do his joke, but basically, he was talking about how it was almost all women there, and he says you could smell the dampness.
Auto-tune comic Morgan J. Auto-tune comic. Ooh. What?
I don't
Oh,
know the auto-tune
I
comic.
have no idea. Like, how would you use that in comedy? I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to look him up now after the show here. I'm gonna have to. Who is this Morgan J person, and what is auto-tune? Um, yes, I asked you before, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it, so I'm going to talk about it now. Adam Neely, are you familiar with him?
Kevin Neely's second baseman.
No. That's Ryan Sandberg passed away, by the way. Speaking of second baseman, no. Adam Neely is a bass player, very good bass player. I would bet that Adam Neely is still in his 20s, but he might be 30 or thereabouts, but very well-educated jazz musician. And he has a channel which he devotes to teaching people about music theory. I have learned a lot from him. And for me, I enjoy learning from people who are a quarter of my age or a third of my age or whatever he is, just because I admire that they have learned so much that they could teach an old codger like me new tricks at my age. I think that's great stuff, and I'm a big fan of Adam Neely. But he was putting on this thing where he said, I don't want to paraphrase, and I'm going to probably end up having to paraphrase because I don't remember. But he was putting down people who use AI in music creation, and I started by assuming he was talking about wholesale creation of music with AI, and which I definitely could see that's not art. You have no part in the creation process. But if you take it like music notation, so I have a piece that I've created and I want to notate it for an orchestra, let's say. It would personally, humanly, it would take me months to notate each part for the flugelhorn and the saxophone and the violins and all this stuff, where AI could spit that out, just listen to it and spit out all those parts in 5 minutes, and then I can deliver the sheet music. That's an applicable use to it.
Right.
And there's lots of possible uses beyond the wholesale creation of music that I think AI can be we can't just dismiss the technology because you don't like people going on Sonu and claiming that they wrote a song that they didn't write. And at the end of the day, the young people are going to decide whether they want to buy that stuff or not. It's up to them. It's not my place to say, yeah, it's garbage, you shouldn't have it. If you enjoy it, fucking spend your money on it. But this wholesale dismissal of AI in any form reminds me of the early days of sequencers and computers and all that stuff. And
Right.
people who remind me very much of Adam Neely, I mean, personally wise, who would tell me you could never record music on a computer. It would lose all the warmth that you have of tape and all this stuff. All those people 2 years later were using computers in some respect to produce or create music. I feel like we're at this point. And the point I made, and this has got him angry, I think. I said, your generation seems to get to the get off my lawn stage earlier than my generation. It took me, I had to get to like 40 or 50 before I became that cranky old man.
The difference is our generation waited until we actually got lawns to start yelling, get off our lawn.
Yeah.
They're yelling it before they have a lawn.
That's perfect. I got to remember that. You got to at least wait until you get a lawn before you're allowed to yell, get off my lawn. But it does seem like 20-something and 30-something are becoming more grandpa, old people, way ahead of their time. Like, and I mean, attitude-wise, it's just like you gotta understand that the world moves, and if you're part of that generation, try to figure out a way to use the technology without violating your artistic principles or something.
You know my opinions of AI, or if you don't know, then I'm going to change it so that you know. I don't have I don't like people who create with AI. I don't mind people who enhance their creations with AI. I didn't like rap artists who sampled stuff. I was like, well, you're not a fucking musician. You got somebody else's music, and that's not, talent. But once I tried to do that myself, I said, okay, I can see there's some skill involved.
Right.
And there is a talent in the actual wordsmithing somewhat.
See, Becky's making a comment here, and I get the computer music, but I'm not that into it. I don't think you probably are taking into account that everything that has been produced, that has been played on the radio in the last 35 years, has been computer produced in some way, recorded on a computer, mastered on a computer. Computer stuff has touched every publication that's ever out there. Even if you just talk about MP3s, MP3s are computerized music at some level, and that's the point I'm making. Is we can't just. I can understand saying, yeah, I'm not into sampling or whatever it is, but to dismiss. And that was the argument. That's where I'm going back to this. People were saying you could never use, and I was one of the first people. I was doing it in the early 80s using the Commodore 64 to kind of do multi-track recording. And it's never going to be the same. It sounds pretty fucking good, first of all. I mean, we were playing the music, recording it with a computer. Oh, it's just not the same as tape. Well, can you really fucking hear the difference between tape and a digital workstation? I don't think anymore. People who said that in the beginning gave that up pretty quick.
I know when I was, we didn't do this we did this on an Atari computer. It wasn't, but we'd written a game on it, and I had to program the music. It was original music that I'd written, and I actually had to go through with pitches and stuff like that. It was really bitch. It was a bitch. And also, the most you could do is 3 notes at a time.
Right.
You know, it was really, really, really limited. But you had to know how to program. You know, it wasn't, you know, like AI. Like we couldn't even write a note or start playing A. You had to know the pitch that you wanted and how long you wanted that pitch to be there, and the sustain and the attack. You had to do that for every single fucking note.
Yeah. I just want to address it because and don't mean to be confrontational here at all, but Becky's saying I like vinyl. 1988 to 1992, I was a mastering engineer for Electrosound. We worked for Polygram, Polydor, Atlantic Records, a lot of different record companies, mastering vinyl. And all of that was done with computers. 1988 to 1992, the mastering was all done with computers. So on some level, even the stuff you're talking about that you think is analog wasn't analog. It was all done. As going back to 1982, computers have been involved in every aspect of commercialized music production.
I'm going to ask you 2 things real quick, Matt. First of all, there are people who are joining us who are looking for governors. Governors is having an issue with their studio, so they're not having any of their live stuff. If you're watching and looking for governors, that's the first thing.
I'm it.
Yeah, and the second thing, Matt, if you look on, I don't know, like on the records, at least on the CDs. If you look on the CDs, there's like 3 letters that tells you like AAD or ADD. Analog, digital, analog, digital. Do you know when they started doing that? Because I don't know if it's on albums or if they didn't start doing it until they got the CDs.
Well, they definitely were doing it when I started working for Electrosound in 1988, so it predates that. They would already.
So they were doing it on albums.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because the people who don't, this is just basically for Becky. If she has any albums from back then, she can start looking on there. It's 2 letters. It's just a matter of what order they're going to be in. It's like AAA, ADD, AAD, DDD. But if it's vinyl, it's not DDD because they didn't do a lot of direct to vinyl stuff. Orchestras, I think orchestras did direct to vinyl.
Yeah, at that time, vinyl, they would not put that because vinyl, the album covers were not printed in the same places. So they weren't putting it on the album. They were putting it on the shrink wrap around the album. So the minute you took that, so it wouldn't still be on there.
I thought it'd be on the cover, on the cardboard part.
Yeah, you would think, but they weren't doing that at the same facility. So, and we would be doing the shrink wrap, and that's where the ADD or whatever.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
But on the CDs, oddly enough, on the plastic, no, it wasn't on the plastic. It was on the insert.
I'm trying to see where I'm about to look at mine and see where it is.
Yeah. I don't think they're doing it anymore. Like anything that on CDs that have been produced, like if you went to CD Baby in the last 10 years, I don't think you would have that because it's all digital now. No.
Okay. Yeah. On my CD, it's actually we put it on the CD itself. Where's my camera? I don't know if you can see it or not.
That's true. They were on CDs. They were printed right on the.
Yeah, I don't know if they can see that. It's
yeah. Well, a little bit we could see it. It's weird that we're getting some kind of weird shadowing.
Yeah, you're seeing the reflection because the CD is shiny. You're seeing my camera reflected in the CD.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like feedback, right? If the camera sees itself, you're getting feedback.
This is interesting. Ian's saying soon all these CDs will have a sticker saying "not made with AI." I do think, like, I understand the people's feelings about AI music, but I do think, like, 30 years from now, nobody will fucking know the difference. Nobody will be talking about it. Even the young people today will be all geezers if they survive, and nobody will give a shit anymore. It's just like just like the digital revolution when it started happening, people were like really dead set against using computers in any aspect of production, and it didn't take long before that went away, and every aspect of production was being used by everybody, especially the people who were complaining loudly. So I think, while I can understand and all the stuff that Becky's talking about, all that over auto-tune stuff and pitch corrected, which are not exactly the same thing. Auto-tune is when, basically you have something that is just automatically putting stuff on the key, where pitch correction, you have somebody manually going in with like Melodyne and changing an E to an F, like a complete note change and stuff. But all that stuff will be not even a consideration for the young people of today, especially if you're talking about teenagers 30 years from now, they won't even give it a second thought. Nobody who was a teenager in 1970 is still complaining about CDs not sounding good. That was the big thing. Oh,
I know when CD. It was a complete evolution for me because when my CD was supposed to have been a 4-track extended album, vinyl, because I had the cover art, the whole thing figured out. I wanted the cover art thing even more than I wanted the music, so to speak. If you understand what I'm saying, Matt, there's like the album meant something to me, and by the time things were dragged out. We went from 4 songs to like 15, actually 13 songs. We just did one of them 3 different ways. So we went from 4 tracks to 15 tracks. In that time, the prices of CDs came down to where it equaled or matched. It just got lower than the price per album.
Yeah.
And then the difference in the cost was an album cover versus this,
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay,
printing definitely the printing and stock and all that stuff is a big expense and all that stuff. Ian is saying back to Morgan J. His gimmick is crowd work like Rife, but he strums a ukulele and his mic has auto-tune. I don't like this guy already. I'm gonna have look him up, but now I'm prejudiced against him. I don't like him. I haven't seen a second of his work, and Ian has already convinced me that this guy is the fucking devil. I mean, first of all, you bring a ukulele on stage, it better be fucking funny. But I have a prejudice against the instrument.
Scott at Govs is saying, and I'm saying, people don't trust digital anymore. DVDs going to become a collector's item of original content.
Yeah. Becky says, I always thought they sounded good. They're just different tapes. I really don't get why people like the sound. What am I missing here? I'm missing something. Something's not connected in my dope.
Auto-tune, maybe? Or maybe CDs. I don't know. Maybe some of the sound of CDs. Yeah.
CDs. You know what? I have a 2008 Honda Tribute. and it has a CD player in it. I've never used it once, but yeah, I don't even know. Like, if you wanted to buy a CD player, if you went to like an appliance store, would they even have one in stock, or do you have to order it like online?
I have like 5 CD players in my house at least, and I'm not talking about because my computer will play a CD, but like I have a CD player like right next to me. It's a 5 CD changer, and then in the basement I have a CD player. I have a portable CD player, the equivalent of a Walkman. You know, I have a portable CD player, but it's also a portable DVD player with a television built in. It's like the size of it's smaller than a laptop. It's like this big, and you can open it up and watch a DVD on it.
Yeah.
You know, I have like tons of old school shit. You know,
I have a laptop here that was bought like 4 years ago. It doesn't have a CD player in it.
Yeah, my car, the car I got is a 2023, and the car that I had before that had a CD player in it, which I liked having a CD player.
Yeah,
you know, and so I get the car, and it doesn't have a CD player. My wife, and I said, "There's no CD player." My wife goes, "How fucking old are you? They don't put CD players in cars anymore."
I hate that, because I used to love to be able to burn my own CD of stuff and then take it on the road, especially when I had a gig that was 2 or 3 hours away. I would want to listen to stuff that we were going to be performing and get a better feel for it, to make my own CD, original music I'm talking about. And now I can't do that anymore. And you know, it's just not the same, hooking up the Bluetooth and all that.
And my old radio shows, I used to have a radio show. It was an internet radio show in 1994, 1995, 1996, in that time period, somewhere in there, where I would stream live music of original artists. But also I did sketches and stuff like that on the show. That's all recorded on CDs. I have like a fucking suitcase. I have a there's it looks like a loose leaf notebook, but it has all these sleeves in it, so you can put like 8 CDs on a page or on a sheet or something. I have one of those full of my old shows, which it's like, if at some point I'm not going to be able to play them.
Yeah. Tomorrow, I will be here for the first hour and a half at least. Maybe GD won't even show up because he'll be having to blow the handyman for.
No. My wife is all home that day also. No, she won't be here. Damn it! It'll just be me.
Right.
So I guess it would be
not
me.
Just you and the contractor.
Well, I was gonna say my cat. Maybe my cat will take one for the team.
All right. But I'll be here talking about lies, damn lies, and AI. More AI talk.
Maybe I can be here virtually, you know, an AI version of me.
Here virtually.
So I can be an AI version of me on the show.
All right. So that's what we're talking about. We're way over time again. This 2-hour show is a 4-hour show now.
I know. I asked you a while ago, are we going to just say, instead of from 9 to 11, we're going to say 9 to 11:30? Well, we'd say 9 to 11, and then we could always... No.
Well, now that Govs we're the only one on Govs, that could be 24/7. I could just sit here all day and have them watch me.
I don't think you can sit there all day. At some point, you're gonna. Are you wearing your good diapers?
No, I am gonna have to get you. Listen, Ryan Sandberg, he passed away. He had prostate cancer. John, we were talking about this with John Beavers the other day. He had prostate cancer. Was declared cancer-free as recently as last August. And then by December, it was back and metastasized and passed away of prostate cancer. I say that because I am getting up to pee. This is why I didn't sleep last night. I got up to pee literally every 20 minutes. Like, how is this fucking possible? How is there enough liquid in my body that I still have to fucking pee? And it's just like, I know it's coming. I know I'm going to be the next Sandberg. It's like, And John, I think, is right about this. You don't die from prostate cancer. You die from where it spreads from when you start to get the prostate cancer. But listen, I wanted to do a 1-800-prostate, leave off the last E for erections, because it's the last erection you're ever going to fucking have. If you get any kind of treatment for prostate cancer, your dick is pretty much done forever. You'll never, ever get an erection again. That's the deal.
No, I one of my comedy routines is based on the fact that
Becky, you can't have prostate cancer or prostate.
One of my routines is based on the fact that I say to people, at some point, no matter what it is you're doing, you're going to have the last of it. You know, you're going to have your last erection. You're going to have your last shit, your last breath, your last heartbeat. So everything is going to be the last of something. And usually I get, like, when I say the last erection, I usually get a groan from the guys. It's like, no, it's going to happen. And you don't know it's your last erection. You don't know it. It's just, it's there. And then you go to have another erection and you don't have it. And then you realize the last erection you had, you wasted on a sock, in the bathroom. And so your last memory of your last erection is masturbating.
Oh, that's sad.
I said, because someone asked, I said, that's why I don't masturbate. Because I know I'm in my 60s. At some point, I'm going to have my last erection. And I do not want my last erection to be in my hand.
I think GD's 2020 erection was stolen. I have a bladder disease, so you know what? That's I feel bad for you. You definitely have my empathy there. Getting up to pee 12 times a night, like really, literally. I don't sleep anymore. It's just like trying to catch a nap in between having to pee, and it's really, it's just so fucking annoying. It's like to the point where, maybe a colostomy bag wouldn't be such a bad idea. And for me to say that, that's fucking ridiculous because I wouldn't. I'm scared of that shit, any of that stuff. But yeah, getting up to pee is the most annoying thing. And last night was particularly annoying because it just seemed like, come on. I've gone through the whole step of, okay, now this is when you become old. You have to think, well, it's 8 o'clock. I can't drink anything after 8 o'clock at night because at 12 o'clock I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to try to go to sleep, and I don't want to have to pee all night. And so I stopped drinking early in the evening. I'm still... It's just and Jackie fucking lied to me. He said it just goes away at some point. Like, I remember my mid.
You die.
Yeah.
Now, I told my wife what you had said about if a man lives long enough, he's going to have prostate cancer. And so my wife said something like, but what if he dies at 140? I said, well, if he lived long enough, she said, what if he dies at 140, he doesn't have prostate cancer? I said, because he didn't live long enough.
Yeah.
He needed to live to be 145 before he got the prostate cancer.
I would love to ask an expert, but I don't think he can make it to 100 without getting prostate cancer. The thing is that most people die of something else before they get to the, if he dies at 100 or 140, let's say, dies at 140, whatever killed him, they will say, yeah, he didn't get prostate cancer because he had the heart attack or the stroke.
Right.
If he would have lived another day,
because he had a confrontation with a bus head on, and also on the bus.
Yeah. But Jackie seemed to indicate that it would just pass. Like I had it in my 60s where I had to get up and pee all the time, but then it just went away. I don't. That's not a good medical advice for a guy like me.
Now, when I first became diabetic, actually before I was diagnosed as being diabetic, my wife and I noticed that I couldn't drive for more than like an hour or two without having to pee. And that was when it was at its worst. When it was at its, because we were driving to Maine. And that's for me, it's like a 10 to 12 hour drive, depending on traffic. Well, it should have been a 10.5 hour drive. It turned into a 12-hour drive because I had to constantly stop for peeing, constantly. And then then they told me I was diabetic, and I, got my weight down and stuff. And now I can drive all the way to Maine and stop to pee one time. And that's when whenever the car needs gas. Actually, when we get to the George Washington Bridge. Before we cross the George Washington Bridge, because you never know how long it's going to take, I get a full tank of gas, and I pee, and I maybe get a snack or two. Even though there's already food in the car, I'll grab another snack, so I can snack on that.
You write your last will and testament.
Yeah, you can do all that on the George. Well, you can do all that waiting across the George Washington Bridge.
Yeah, definitely. You could get old. I was there the day of Bridgegate, where Chris Christie shut it down, and in the traffic jam. We're not listening to the radio. We're like, "What the fuck?" It's been like 4 hours trying to cross the fucking bridge. I was maddening. That was my anniversary too. We're coming back from the Poconos.
the worst thing, or not? It's not the worst. It was I'm not even gonna say. I don't have a word for it. I'm just gonna say I saw this on the bridge once. We were stuck on traffic and we were moving like maybe a half a mile an hour, maybe. But we were stuck. I mean, it was like no exit before us, no exit after us. It was like just crawling along a half a mile an hour. And there was a car next to me. The guy got somebody else driving, and he's walking next to the car, just pissing beside the car as he walks. just no.
Jackie doesn't want me to tell us that it's in the book, but he on the road to Michigan, his mother was driving, and he shit out the window. That is the worst. I mean, pissing out the window is bad enough, but sticking your ass out a window and shitting, it's like, it's gonna get on the car and all that stuff. But on your, we gotta go. But just on your last, this is gonna be your last. The very first autopsy I did was a 16-year-old kid, and he was farting the whole dead and still fart. So the one exception to your rule, this is gonna be your last. He was dead for a day, and still farting up a storm. And there is nothing as disgusting as the smell of a dead person's farts. I have to tell you.
Well, it's a whole different group of bacteria. Now, Scott says, I cherish every tube sock that I lose for the cause. And it says, this is my wife and I had to stop performing doggy style. The neighbors complained about all the barking.
Scott's a comedian. Come on the fucking show, you fucking funny bastard.
Well, not now, Scott. Come on the show tomorrow. No,
yeah,
when is
that's
it?
what I mean. Go to minddogtv.com/booking and book yourself on the show someday. I mean, this is what I mean. Fucking come on and tell some fucking jokes. All right?
Matt, you went from laughing at what he said to yelling at him, and like not even the same breath. The same breath.
No, you're wrong. It sounded like I was yelling at him. I was yelling at the cloud that is all on my lawn. Get off my lawn, you cloud! That's what I was doing. I love Scott. I don't even know who he is, but I love him anyway.
Oh yeah, it's Scott. I think his last name is Fitzgerald.
Oh.
F. Scott.
F. Scott?
F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Wow. And he must be pretty old. Anyway, let's wrap this shit up. I don't know. I guess I'll just wrap it up by telling you, turn on the radio. Turn on the radio. Don't forget to turn on it. Don't forget to turn on your radio. what? I'm glad you got ass raped. You're a fucking dick. Get the fuck off my program, you dick-faced asshole.
Listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now.